three-run game-winning rally by Cal State Fullerton. The Cardinal hitters couldn't do much but wave at Mark Beck's pitches the rest of the way, sending Mark Marquis's defending champions into an elimination game with Miami tonight. Welcome live to Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska for an elimination game between the Hurricanes of Miami, 1-1 in this tournament, and the Stanford Cardinal, both 1-1. Miami coming off a win, Stanford coming off a loss. Hello, everyone. I'm Sam Rosen. It's a pleasure to welcome you to our coverage of the College World Series. And there are only 5 teams remaining, and after tonight's game, it'll be down to 4. Let's take a look at the standings in the 2 divisions here in the College World Series. In the East Division, this is the one you're seeing tonight. Miami going against Stanford. The winner of tonight's game will play on Thursday night against undefeated Cal State Fullerton. And in the West Division, Arizona State stayed alive, defeating Florida 10-1. Florida goes home. Arizona State tomorrow night will take on unbeaten Wichita State. Back from a quick trip to New York City is Joe Morgan. Pleasure to have you alongside. And Joe, these 2 teams, I wonder, is it better coming in off the win or coming in off the loss?
Well, quite naturally, I think it's better coming in off the win because your confidence is high, and especially the way Stanford lost yesterday. They did not play a good ball game.
I think they were really shocked by the way they played defensively, and they'll be pressured, I think, by Miami today. The 2 top men in the order, George Robles, number 1, Jose Trujillo, those are keys for Miami.
Well, I think they're definitely keys. When they get on base, they score runs because you can't set the table without the big guy coming up to drive you in. If you don't get on base, no one's there for him. Mike Fiore is their key guy, but if no one's on base, he can't drive him in, and they will put a lot of pressure on the Stanford defense.
Now, for Miami, when you come through the losers bracket, you have to dig into the depth of the pitching staff. Right-hander Will Vespi will start tonight's game.
Well, Will is 5-0, but that's kind of deceiving because he pitched very well at the beginning of the season. He hurt his ankle, and since that time, he's been roughed up quite a bit. So I think the key tonight will not be his bat, but they'll have to worry about how well he's pitching. It could be a high-scoring ball game tonight.
They call him prime time. This is the 3rd time he'll be starting on ESPN this season. Now for Stanford, as Joe mentioned, coming in off the loss, they've got to regroup, and I also think they've got to get some hitting from the number 4 man. Paul Carey had a tough night last night.
Well, he struck out 3 times last night in the ball game, but if you remember last year, Paul Carey was a key guy for Stanford. He got them going on their way to the championship last year. He had a lot of key hits, and without his bat, there's going to be a tough road for him. I think he'll do it.
Now, talking about pitching, Stanford last night showed a fine freshman right-hander in Mike Messina. They'll go with another fine freshman in Stan Spencer tonight.
Well, I think it's a little deceiving, but Stan Spencer has actually pitched better than Mike Messina in the last 3 starts, according to his coach. And I think he's capable of pitching a good game. I've not watched him a lot out in California, and he is a good pitcher. I think he is up for tonight's ball game, and I think he'll do a good job.
We're taking a look at Mark Marquis, the head coach of Stanford. Of course, he's trying to defend the national championship that Stanford won last year, but he's also concerned about putting together the United States Olympic team. It's a fine-looking group, and he's had to make some tough decisions to select the players. The 1984 U.S. Olympic team had several players who become Major League stars. Mark McGuire, Corey Snyder, and Will Clark led that team. This year, Stanford's Mark Marquis is the head coach of the U.S. team and has the tough job of picking the best.
We've left some good players off. As you know, you can't win in that regard. But we feel we have a good nucleus, and I think the people in the United States will really like the players that we're going to have. I think they represent the United States very well. I think we'll have, for the strength, I think we got some great pitching. I think we got some pitching that people are really going to like. So we're excited about it, and yet at the same time, we know we're leaving some good people off.
8 players chosen to try out for the Olympic team are here in the College World Series, including Fresno State speedy center fielder Tom Goodwin.
It means a lot to me right now because, you know, when you're a little kid, you always dream of, you know, maybe being in the Olympics. I mean, it might not be baseball. It might be, you know, running track, running 100. You see Jesse Owens. You see, you know, guys in the long jump. But, you know, for me to make this team right now is really a big honor. I mean, there's still a ways to go because there's going to be some competition. And I think that's what you want, competition, because that brings out the best in people. And for this Olympic team, I think that's what we want, is the best.
Miami's Mike Fiore is a veteran of international competition, having played in the Pan Am Games last year.
The Pan Am team, without a doubt, was probably one of the highlights of my amateur career with winning the College World Series. The guys that I met, I tell you, some of those guys and the people that were on that team were some good friends that I met and I probably keep for a long time. You know, it's funny, we've played a few teams and they've come in this year and have had a good time being with the guys that played with this summer on that team.
Mike Fiore and Joe Gray of Miami, Doug Robbins and Ed Sprague of Stanford invited to try out for the Olympic team. Quite an honor, Joe.
Well, Sam, I don't think there's any higher honor than to represent your country against the world.
Okay, now these two teams will be shooting to take a step closer toward the national championship as they match up in an elimination game tonight. ESPN's live presentation of the 1988 NCAA College World Series is being brought to you by Michelob. So exceptionally smooth, the night belongs to Michelob. By the financial professionals at Payne Weber. By Firestone Master Care Car Service with over 1,400 locations nationwide. Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. And by Dickies, they're America's favorite work clothes. Here at Rosenblatt Stadium, Miami and Stanford getting set to meet up in a key elimination game. The lineup for the Miami Hurricanes is brought to you by Wilson, the official ball of the College World Series. The Hurricanes beat Fresno State yesterday after an opening loss to Cal State Fullerton. They're coached by Ron Fraser. In his 26th year, he has 1,069 career wins. Leading off, shortstop George Robles, a senior, hitting .364. He leads the team with 35 stolen bases. Batting second, the second baseman, Jose Trujillo, a junior, hitting .239 this season. He's 3 for 9 with 3 runs scored in the College World Series. Batting third, the left fielder, Mike Fiore, a senior, hitting .399, leading the team in hitting. He's hit safely in 22 of his last 23 games. Batting fourth, the catcher, Frank Dominguez, a senior. He has an 8-game hitting streak going. He's hitting .306. Batting fifth, the designated hitter and pitcher, Will Vespi, a junior, hitting .305. He was 3 for 6 with 3 RBIs in the win over Fresno State. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Ray Noriega, a freshman. He went 2 for 4 and scored 2 runs yesterday. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Doug DeCock, a senior, hitting .270 for the season, but he's 0 for 8 in the College World Series. Batting eighth, the third baseman, Mike Tozar, a freshman. He appeared in 46 games this season. He's hitting .295. And batting ninth, the center fielder, John Vieira, a junior, Miami's best defensive outfielder. He's hitting .265.
And the Stanford Cardinal defense will have Paul Curry in right field. Eric DeGraw is the center fielder. Brian Johnson will be in left. Ed Sprague is at third base. Troy Paulson will play shortstop. Frank Curry, no relation to Paul, will play second base. Ron Whitmire is the first baseman. Doug Robbins will do the catching. And Stan Spencer, 6-2 record, will go to the mound for the Cardinal.
6'3", 190 pounds, only 18 years old, from Vancouver, Washington, the baseball player of the year in the state of Washington last year. Drafted by the Boston Red Sox out of high school, and a fine freshman season. He pitched 15 innings in the Northeast Regional, including a complete game in the championship game when Stanford defeated Kentucky 16-2. Allowed 2 runs, 7 hits, struck out 3, walked 1. 88 degrees, warm day and humid here in Omaha. Good wind blowing out, favoring the hitters. Partly cloudy skies. It rained early in the day. Then the sun came out. We've had some clouds in the sky. But we're ready for some good baseball. And ready to go is George Robles, the senior shortstop. One change in the lineup for Miami tonight. Rob Word sprained an ankle in yesterday's game, going into first base against Fresno State, and Mike Tozar is replacing him in the lineup. Fastball from Spencer is a strike. Brad Kelly coaches at third. Jim Pizzolatto coaches at first. The head man, Ron Fraser, is in the dugout on the first base side. Changeup in the dirt.
Stan Spencer will definitely have to throw strikes to these first two hitters. And he's got an unusual motion here, I've noticed already, is that he hesitates in his windup. He gets his weight on his back foot right there. See how he hesitates.
Line down the left field line, foul. Is that confusing to a hitter, Joe?
That can be very valuable to a pitcher.
Look at the big ballpark. 343 down the lines, 370 in the alleys, and 420 to straightaway center field.
It can be very deceiving to a hitter because all of a sudden he jumps at you, and any off-speed pitch or breaking ball will fool you, as that one did.
George Robles goes down looking. One man out on the breaking pitch.
Well, Stan Spencer was ahead in the count. He throws a breaking ball here, a curveball, and it's on the inside corner with strike three. We'll get another look at it. See how he hesitates there, and then all of a sudden he kind of jumps at you.
And here is Jose Trujillo. Robles, only the 18th time he struck out this season. Spencer with that slow windup. Fastball hit hard, deep left field. Back goes Johnson. It's over his head and off the fence. Trujillo on his way to second. Goes in with a double.
First of all, they're playing him awfully shallow.
22nd double of the season for Trujillo. He's only hitting .239, but he's hit some balls very, very hard in this series.
Well, we'll get another look at it here. It's a high fastball, about belt high. There it is, right along the belt, and he drives it into left field. And you can see Brian Johnson was way in. He had no chance to even get close to the ball. I am a little surprised that they were playing that shallow. One of the things you have to do in this big ballpark is protect against the extra base hits. You mentioned it before that they play the alleys and give people the lines. So you have to play accordingly to this ballpark, and you have to play a little differently and deeper.
Trujillo with good speed at second, and here is Mike Fiore, Mr. Everything at Miami. He will try out for the U.S. Olympic team, which will be coached by Mark Marquis. Curveball blocked by Robbins. Ed Sprague, the third baseman, played for Ron Fraser on the Pan Am team, as did Mike Fiore last year. Here's Ed Sprague. Fiore, going 1 for 6 against Fresno State yesterday, has dropped under the 400 mark. He's hitting .399. Changeup.
Good changeup. That's why I say his motion helps him with the off-speed pitches, because he jumps at you, and you'll see Mike is out in front of this pitch, completely fooled. But I think that's because his motion helps him with the off-speed pitches.
Fat Rat? No, not Mike Fiore. Mike Fiore, one of the hardest working players you'll ever meet. Another changeup, stays inside.
You brought up another point. You said he's dropped under 400 for the complete season. But I think you should separate things. The season should count by itself, the games they play before the regionals stand on their own, and then the College World Series on their own, because some players do not get to go to the regionals, and you have to face better pitching in the regionals and in the College World Series, so your average may be a little deceiving as compared to other players.
Pitch in the dirt, blocked nicely by Robbins. Trujillo fake going at second. Took about 4 steps and then pulled up.
Robbins is a very good catcher. He gets in front of the ball quite well, and we'll see here, this is a 60-foot curveball. There you see it'll bounce, and Robbins hits his big body over in front of it. Nice job. And you get another look at it here. That's excellent, because the ball was quite a ways outside.
Fine defensive catcher. He too invited to try out for the U.S. Olympic team. 3-1 on Fiore with 1 man out and a runner at second. Spencer working very deliberately.
Well, I think he had a sign and he wasn't sure, so he steps off to make sure, and there you see Doug Robbins give him another sign. So he did not want to throw what he had said okay to in the first place. I would think he would go to the breaking ball here with first next base open.
Again, that breaking pitch, real slow.
Good curveball.
Tough to wait on a pitch like that. Ron Graham calling balls and strikes tonight. Bob Jones at first. The crew chief at the World Series, John Bible, at second, and Rusty Herring is at third. 18-year-old Stan Spencer. Fine freshman year at Stanford, 6-2 record. This is his 17th start of the season. In 21 appearances, he's pitched 4 complete games. Fakes Trujillo back. Trujillo's done a lot of dancing around second base, trying to rattle Spencer a little bit. And he steps off as Frank Carey came in.
Well, wisely, the smart second baseman told him to step off because he was out of position. You can't throw a pitch, especially to a hitter like Mike Fiore, with your defense not set.
Ron Fraser bringing his team to the College World Series. 10th appearance for Miami. Runner goes. Slow curve taken for ball 4, and he's in there. Trujillo steals third. How about that? And again on the slow breaking pitch. Smart base running by Trujillo.
Very smart base running, but Stan Spencer is going to have trouble holding these guys on all night because he does have that hesitation in his motion, and he has a big leg kick. You get a look at it here. Robbins has no chance to throw Trujillo out. As you can see, he's safe by a mile.
34 stolen bases for Trujillo.
There you see he's in easily. And it was a good play by the catcher, Doug Robbins. He did all he could do. But like I say, he will have trouble holding these good base stealers on because he does have a deliberate motion to the plate, very slow.
And Trujillo, one of those men who makes things happen at the top of the order for Miami. Now on third with good speed. And we'll watch to see if he tries to distract Spencer with first and third. Fiore's a threat to run at first. He has 30 stolen bases. There's that fake third to first pickoff move. The batter is Frank Dominguez, riding an 8-game hitting streak. 2 for 8 in the World Series. Fiore's back. Fastball hit foul.
That's also what will happen when he turns his fastball loose on the inside corner. Because of his motion, it will get on the hitter a lot quicker than the hitter anticipates.
One man out with Jose Trujillo. Outstanding speed at third. Mike Fiore at first. He's deceptive. He picks his spots. He's a smart base runner. He has 30 stolen bases. Has a pretty good lead at first. And again, that fake third to first move.
The only time you'll get a guy like that is if he is trying to steal second base from first base.
Fiore gets back.
Very rarely will you just pick a guy off because he's deceived by you faking to third. He'll have to be breaking towards second before you can pick him off.
And again, Spencer tries that move. I think most of it is due to Trujillo. I think he really distracts the pitcher, Joe, with all the movement down at third base.
But sometimes that works against him as well because sometimes he distracts the hitter. Also, when you're standing in the batter's box and you see a lot of movement, it can be distracting.
Runner goes. Robbins throws through. Fiore is out. Good tag by Frank Carey.
And a very smart play by the Stanford Cardinal to throw through. A lot of teams in this situation will not throw the ball to second base, but they're not going to double steal with 1 out normally. So I would say you come up throwing and you see Doug Robbins comes up, makes an excellent throw right there on the bag. Nice tag by Frank Carey. And you see he's also looking over to Trujillo at third. He wasn't going to let him steal home.
So it was only a straight steal for Fiore, not a double steal because Trujillo holding all the way. Now 2 men out and a runner at third. Fastball misses. 2-1 on Frank Dominguez.
As I've said on several occasions, sometimes stealing bases can take your team out of an inning. It can hurt you. Stealing bases doesn't always work to your advantage. First of all, you have to steal 75 to 80% of your attempts before you're a successful base runner, in my opinion. And if you get caught a lot of times, you're going to take your team out of an inning.
Dominguez held off the breaking pitch. But, Joe, if you're a running team and you like to apply pressure, don't you stay with that game?
Well, I would say in this particular situation, no, because you have your fourth place hitter up with runners at first and third in the first inning of a ball game. You're already going to distract the pitcher. You've already proven that. He's throwing the ball to first base a lot.
Fastball hit hard, deep right center field. Back goes DeGraw, and he makes a beautiful catch. Eric DeGraw robbing Frank Dominguez of an extra base hit and stopping Miami from scoring with a brilliant defensive play.
This is what I was talking about. If he stays at first base, they have a run now. With your fourth place hitter up, you want to give him a chance. But you see a great play here by Eric DeGraw, because when the ball was first hit, I thought he had no chance to be able to make the catch. And there you see Trujillo upset.
Trujillo was waving the ball deeper, but DeGraw got there to make the catch. Miami does not score. Stanford comes to bat bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the Stanford lineup. The lineup for the Stanford Cardinal is brought to you by Wilson, the official ball of the College World Series. Stanford beat Fresno State 10-3, then lost to Cal State Fullerton 5-3. They're coached by Mark Marquis in his 12th season at Stanford. Leading off is the second baseman, Frank Carey, a junior. He had his 14-game hitting streak broken last night, but he's still hitting .462 in postseason play. Batting second, the shortstop, Troy Paulson, a sophomore. He leads the team with 100 hits and 22 doubles. Batting third, the third baseman, Ed Sprague, a junior. He hit his 21st home run of the season last night and has 79 RBIs. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Paul Carey, a sophomore, hitting .330 this season, .405 in his last 31 games. Batting fifth, the catcher, Doug Robbins, a senior. He's hitting .316 with 10 home runs. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Ron Whitmire, a junior. He has 2 home runs and 11 RBIs in 7 postseason games. Batting seventh, the left fielder, Brian Johnson, a sophomore, hitting .335 for the season, .409 in postseason play. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, Tim Griffin, a sophomore. He's 3 for 7 thus far in the College World Series. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Eric DeGraw, a junior, hitting .279 this season. He's made only 1 error in his career at Stanford.
And the Miami defense will have Ray Noriega in right field. John Vieira will be the center fielder. Mike Fiore is in left. Mike Tosar is at third base tonight. George Robles will be the shortstop. Jose Trujillo is the second baseman. Doug DeCock will play first. Frank Dominguez will do the catching. And on the mound, Will Vespi.
Junior from Haddonfield, New Jersey. Will Vespi, 20 years, make that 21 years old. This is his 6th start of the season, a record of 5-0. But as we mentioned, since injuring his ankle in March, he has not been the same pitcher. Facing Frank Carey, misses, ball 1. After the game yesterday, after the win over Fresno State, Vespi went down to the bullpen and started throwing just to stretch out his arm. Frank Carey was held hitless yesterday, last night, by Cal State Fullerton. It broke a 14-game hitting streak. He's the catalyst for Stanford. Good speed. Best outing of the year was on ESPN in a game at Miami when he beat Texas 3-2. He struck out 10 and hit a home run in that game.
I think he's going to have to establish his fastball first and then go to the breaking ball.
Fastball hit foul. A good crowd on hand here at Rosenblatt Stadium.
I look for Miami to be real aggressive in the ball game. I don't look for Stanford to be quite as aggressive. I look for Stanford to try to play a fundamentally sound ball game, moving guys along, maybe a couple of hit and runs, things like that. But I don't expect a real aggressive attack from Stanford tonight.
I think Mark Marquis was the most surprised player in the person in the ballpark last night. Fastball, Carey is called out on strikes. Didn't like the call.
And he, like George Robles, that start off the game for Miami, both are called out on a pitch that umpire says is on the inside corner. We'll take a look at it. We can't really tell from that angle, but Ron Graham says it's on the inside corner, and that's all that matters. You viewers can decide.
The big strike zone in the College World Series. One man out. Here's Troy Paulson. Talking about Marquis being surprised last night, mainly by the defensive breakdowns. He said during the season the team has been inconsistent in different areas, but not defensively. They've been very sound. Last night, 6 errors for Stanford in the ballgame. Dean Stott's coaches at third, Kirk Mason at first, and the head man, Mark Marquis, in the dugout on the third base side. Count of 2-0 on Troy Paulson. Hits it hard, foul.
Well, actually, Stanford has started to play well in all areas. You know, the last few weeks. They were underdog to get to the College World Series. They started to play very well. Went to the Northeast Regional and won there, too. So they've been playing very well. I was surprised at how bad they played defensively as well last night.
Count now 2-2 on Troy Paulson. Look at Will Vespi. Right fielder, designated hitter, and now starting pitcher. Fastball hit hard, base hit for Troy Paulson. 101st hit of the season for Troy Paulson. He's the second player in Stanford history to get 100 hits in the season. The other man, Mike Dotterer, in 1981, holds the record with 108. A great season for Troy Paulson, who's come back from serious knee injury last season. Paulson on first with one man out. And here's Big Ed Sprague. 2 home runs thus far in the College World Series. He has 21 this season. That's 4 short of the single season record for Stanford, held by Rick Lundblade, 25. And he has 40 in his career, 2 shy of Lundblade's 42 career record. Breaking pitch over.
Ed Sprague is a real strong hitter. He drives the ball well to left center field and out of the ballpark, of course, but he is a real strong hitter.
I hope he sleeps well, Joe, because last night had to be a nightmare for him. High fastball. Looked like he was just showing him the fastball. I don't think he wants to throw it in a spot that he can hit.
Well, also what happened is he rushed his motion. I guess he thought Paulson might be going on the pitch. It was almost like a pitch out because he really rushed his motion. He didn't really stop.
Paulson, a good runner, has 11 stolen bases in 14 tries. Sprague can hit it out of this ballpark any place. Showed that last night. Curveball popped foul behind the plate. Dominguez makes the play.
That was a hanging curveball, and Ed Sprague really couldn't get the bat up to it. So Vespi got away with a bad pitch there. Here you see Dominguez. You watch him, he'll throw his mask in the opposite direction. There he is, and he waits for the ball. Nice play.
2 men out. With the wind blowing out, it actually brought that ball back toward Dominguez and helped him out. Here's Paul Carey. He's come on over the last 2 months of the season. Strikes out a lot. Leads the team with 49 strikeouts. Did not go around. Rusty Herring, the umpire at third. 2 men out, a runner at first, bottom half of the first inning.
Last year when he came here, he was an unknown commodity, and he was relaxed and did well. I think this year he might be feeling a little of the pressure that goes with being a hero last year here.
Hit in the air, short left field. Fiore drifts over, and the side's retired. 1 out single by Troy Paulson. Will Will Vespi gets Ed Sprague and Paul Carey to pop the ball up. One to the catcher, one to the left fielder. End of one in this elimination game. Miami and Stanford are scoreless. Frank Carey called out on a pitch he thought was out of the strike zone. We go to the second. No score. Don't throw Mama from Miami's train. She's a Miami Hurricane fan. Mama says throw Stanford from the train. Will Vespi, designated hitter as well as starting pitcher tonight, facing Stan Spencer, takes a fastball for a strike. Will Vespi has not hit all that well when he pitches. .225 batting average in the games in which he's pitched. 9 hits for 40 at bats. Lays a bunt down. Tough play for Spencer. Throws it in the dirt. What a pick by Whitmire. Ron Whitmire, an outstanding defensive first baseman, saved Stan Spencer on that throw.
Mark Marquis has said to me on several occasions that Ron Whitmire is the best defensive first baseman in the college baseball. He said that to me a couple of times, and I believe him because every time I've seen Whitmire play, he's made some outstanding plays at first base. Actually, it was a good bunt, except it's too much back to the pitcher. If it's down the third baseline a little more, Vespi would have had a base hit.
Here's Ray Noriega, moved up to the number 6 spot in the order. Freshman right fielder, a couple of base hits in the series, including a triple. Foul back. These two teams met in the regular season twice at Miami, and Miami won both games. And Stan Spencer pitched in one of those games, and Miami knocked him out in the 3rd inning.
That was at Stanford. I mean, that was at Miami, though. This is a neutral field. I don't think Stanford feels that has any bearing on tonight's ball game.
The Jug Super Gun is working on Stan Spencer. Changeup on the ground, wide of first. Whitmire leads Spencer just in time.
However, that can work two ways. It gave Spencer a chance to know the Miami hitters, but it also gave the Miami hitters a chance to see Spencer. And obviously they were more successful than he was last time.
2 men out. First baseman Doug DeCock. He's been struggling in the World Series without a hit, and he tries fastball on the ground slowly to second. Carey waits. 1-2-3 inning. And a good one for Stan Spencer. Gets him to put the ball on the ground. Good pick by Whitmire at first base. Helped him out on the leadoff bunt. Go to the bottom of the second. The winner will play Thursday night against Cal State Fullerton. The loser is done for the World Series this year. Go to the bottom half of the second inning. No score in the ball game. And Doug Robbins, the catcher, steps in against Will Vespi. Robbins, another man who had a tough night last night. Mark Beck was absolutely dominant last night for Cal State Fullerton. They've had 2 great pitching performances by Longo Garcia and then Mark Beck.
Well, Longo Garcia was very impressive to me, and I think they would probably go with him in the championship game if they get that far and do not have to use him in the meantime.
Oh, I think I would think you go with Longo on Thursday, figure him for a win, and then go come back with Beck for the championship. Nice play by Robles. Can't get it. Tough chance. Robles had to go a long way behind second base against Doug Robbins.
One of the things you look for in a shortstop is range. And we'll see George Robles here. He has great range. He goes a long way for the ball, but he's running toward the outfield. Has to take a couple extra steps before he can throw the first, and that's no way.
And here's Ron Whitmire, who has been outstanding in postseason play. He has 11 RBIs in 7 postseason games. Bing is right on it.
Well, you bring up a good point. Maybe they will use Longo Thursday and save Beck for the championship game. That's probably the proper way to do it.
I think the way to go, the way those two pitched.
I just want to see Longo again. I like it.
Robbins not really a running threat at first base. Tosar is back at third. They're not looking for Whitmire to bunt. Close. Quite a move by Vespi.
Watch his feet here. That's quick feet. That's why he's able to get rid of the ball so quickly towards first base.
We've gone over 3 times against Robbins.
When we talk about quick feet, what that means is your feet react like your mind wants them to. A lot of times we want our feet to move, but they don't move quite as quickly. All the second basemen can dance. Take my word for it.
Big hole between first and second for Whitmire if he can pull the ball. That pitch on the outside corner would have been a tough pitch to pull. Whitmire, a line drive hitter, leads Stanford in triples with 7 this season. And like Paul Carey, has come on strong in the second half. Close again. Outfield deep and straight away on Whitmire as Vespi works. Curveball hit in the air to short left field. Fiore is there. 1 man out in the bottom half of the second. Take a look at these 2 teams. Team ERA for Miami this season pretty good. Stanford, a couple of young pitchers in the rotation. Runs allowed, 263 by Miami. Again, good. Home runs allowed, 73 by Stanford. Errors, Stanford was up. Offense, Stanford hits 308. Same amount of runs per ball game, just about. Home runs, 73 for Stanford. They've got Big Ed Sprague in the lineup. Carey can hit him, so can Whitmire. Fastball from Vespi. Vespi on his delivery to home, Joe, not a high kick at all. Keeps the leg down, and it's pretty good as far as his time to the plate is concerned.
Right, well, that's how you keep runners close. Your release to the plate. If you get the ball to the plate quickly, they cannot steal bases. He's doing what I thought he should have done from the first inning on. Establish his fastball the first 3 innings, first time through the batting order, and then go to the breaking ball. Make them respect your fastball first.
Ahead on the count, 0-2 to Brian Johnson. As we mentioned last night, the quarterback of the Stanford football team. Good block by Dominguez. Both catchers have done a good job. Senior Frank Dominguez.
One of the things, Vespi does not stop, enough to let his body, his arm catch up with his body sometimes. He gets out in front. That's why he misses so often.
What do you mean by that, Joe?
Right. Watch him. He doesn't let his body settle and start to the plate together. What he does is he'll start his body before his arm sometimes. He doesn't do it each pitch, but every once in a while when he misses the plate by a foot, that's what he does.
Breaking pitch foul. Part of that could be that he's not been a regular pitcher. He's only been a part-time pitcher.
Right. Well, that's probably true. Pitching is rhythm. Watch, he gets good rhythm here. Watch. See how everything seems to work together right there. And he throws a strike. But when he misses by a big margin, it's because he does not wait for his arm.
2-2 on Brian Johnson. 1 man out and a runner at first. No score in the game. We're in the bottom half of the second inning. Stanford and Miami.
As we've said before, pitching is rhythm. So a pitcher gets his rhythm, he's able to throw the ball inside, outside, because he releases the ball about the same spot. He gets his body in the same position almost each time. And repetition makes you a good pitcher. Same thing as a hitter. If you can get yourself in proper hitting position after the stride each time, you're going to do pretty well.
Count of 2-2 on Brian Johnson. The man at the plate, Johnson, quarterback on the football team. What a tough spring it's been. He'd go to baseball practice for an hour and a half, then go to spring football practice for 2 hours.
Well, baseball is probably the simplest of the two. You don't get beat around.
just get some swings and take a couple of fly balls and go on to football. But as a quarterback, you know, he'll wear the red T-shirt and they won't be allowed to hit him in the spring practice.
Oh, okay. Well, in baseball, he gets to do the hitting anyway.
Outstanding athlete, Ryan Johnson.
I saw Rodney Pete at USC this year when we did a game. Both of them, you know, you think of a quarterback, at least I do. When I see a guy that's the leader of the team, the quarterback, I think, you know, of a little larger guy with, I guess, a little tougher look about him. These guys look like little kids.
Full count on Johnson with one man out. Robbins is going. Pitch foul. Mark was starting the runner with one man out.
I think this is the way you'll see Marquis play it tonight. He will hit and run when the situation allows it. But other than that, I think he'll play for the big inning. He'll try to get some of his big guys to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And they do have a favorable wind tonight, so that might be the best game plan for Stanford because they do not have a lot of base stealers on their ball club.
Roll back. Robbins ready to go. Go over and he's back.
He caught Robbins leaning a little bit then.
Miami infield in double play depth. Runner goes, pitch foul back again. Quick delivery to the plate that time by Vespi.
Very quick.
Did he stop?
Too quick if you're in the American League.
Barely stopped. But as Jim Cott mentioned in the first game, in college baseball, they don't call the balk
Too often.
unless it's just totally blatant.
Well, that was close.
3-2 on Johnson. He's fouled off a couple. Runner goes, hit in the air to center field. Vieira goes back, makes the catch. 2 men down. 2 outstanding defensive center fielders, both left-handers in this ball game. Eric DeGraw for Stanford and John Vieira for Miami. Doug Robbins, the runner at first. There's Vieira. He gets as good a jump on the ball as any outfielder we've seen on our college baseball coverage this season. Tim Griffin, backup infielder, played on the JV last year. This year, the starter as the designated hitter. Good breaking pitch from Vespi.
Vespi has a good curveball, and he does have a good fastball, so it's just a matter of using them properly and mixing his pitches well.
Good fastball. Brad Kelly, the pitching coach, says if Vespi gets in trouble, it's when he throws the split too many times.
Here's a high fastball, and he just throws it right by Tim Griffin.
Says sometimes Vespi will fall in love with the split finger.
People that throw the split finger have a tendency to do that. Even in the major leagues, I see a lot of guys who have a good split finger, but they sort of fall in love with it and want to throw it every pitch. They think it's unhittable, and every once in a while it is when it's down, but if you hang it, it becomes a mediocre fastball.
1-2 in the dirt. Dominguez with another good block.
Dominguez has done a good job on the balls that has been bounced tonight. Here you see him get his body over in front, which is the proper way to do it. You've seen Doug Robbins do the same thing for Stanford.
Looking into Brad Kelly, the pitching coach, what he wants to throw. 2-2 the count on Tim Griffin. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the side's retired. Second strikeout for Will Vespi. Gave up a leadoff single to Doug Robbins and then retired the next 3 hitters. End of 2, no score. Go to the top half of the third inning. Miami and Stanford scoreless, as both Stan Spencer and Will Vespi have done a good job. Wind has picked up a little bit, Joe, blowing out. Could be a factor.
Well, I think it could be for Stanford because they have a lot of strong right-handed hitters.
Top half of the third inning, and we'll see Mike Tosar, who's playing third base tonight, replacing the injured Rob Word. Word sprained his ankle in the game against Fresno State yesterday. Tosar, a left-handed batter, a freshman. He came in at 135 pounds. I'm told he's beefed himself up to about 145 this year. Tosar had a stretch when Vespi was out. He was the designated hitter. Vespi was out for about a month, and he hit well over 300 during that period of time. Tosar, second baseman and third baseman. Originally, they thought about playing him at second, moving Trujillo to third, and then went back and said, let's not change two positions. So Tosar's in at third base tonight.
Well, I think that's smart. When you start moving guys around to different positions, you can mess up a lot of positions. Whereas if you put Tosar in there, you're only missing one player, Rob Word.
See that 6 pitches in the second inning? That's a dream inning for a pitcher. Get out of there in a hurry. Ahead on the count, 1-2. Tosar has had only one at bat in postseason play. In the Atlantic Regional, he drew a walk and scored a run. Good fastball on the ground to Frank Carey at second. Bobbles it. Has time to throw him out.
That's the first time I've seen a second baseman actually wait on the ball here, and that's why he got in trouble a little bit. Watch, you see him wait on the ball. See, he doesn't charge the ball. Right there, he waits for it. And he doesn't reach out for it. Ball hit towards you, you have to start for the ball. Charge the ball at all times on the infield.
First game today, Tommy Edwards played a tremendous second base for Florida. Made some outstanding plays. Here's John Vieira. Hits it over the head of the pitcher. Tough chance for Paulson. He gets there, but drops the ball.
I don't think he was going to be able to throw Frank Carey up. I don't think he was going to be able to throw Vieira out, but what happens is he gets to the ball right there. He catches it. Now he loses it when he's trying to bring it out of his glove.
Infield single for John Vieira, who's got good speed. And back to the top of the order with a man who can handle the bat, George Robles. Robles had his Miami record on base streak stopped in the loss to Cal State Fullerton. Stopped at 66. Got it going again against Fresno State. So he's been on base in 67 of his last 68 games.
Johnny.
Robles was called out on strikes in the first inning.
I think we'll see Ron Frazier give him a chance to run here.
Vieira has 16 stolen bases.
That's a pretty good move there. A quick move to first base by Spencer. But he still has a slow delivery to the plate.
Sprague is in on the grass at third, protecting against the bunting capabilities of Robles.
Had a baby, Johnny.
Robles handles the bat very well. Spray hitter, switch hitter. Fastball line foul. Robles looking down. Brad Kelly, the third base coach. Good speed at first base in the person of John Vieira. Here's Ed Sprague. He's in on the grass. Protecting against the speed of Robles. Robles tried to slap that last one by him.
What you see here is Jose Trujillo is one of the few guys choking up on the bat.
Vieira fakes going. Robles swings at a breaking pitch and misses.
Got my scorebook messed up here, Sam.
That's Robles at the plate. Vieira the runner at first with one man out. A count of 0-2. That was good breaking ball. that Spencer threw.
There you see him choking up on the bat. You do not see many people choke up on the bat because they are very light. They use 31 ounces, sometimes 29 ounces, so most of your hitters do not choke up. He's doing a good job by choking up. I think you have a lot better control when you choke up on the bat. Not necessarily as much as he's choking up. Ted Williams, who was probably the greatest hitter who ever lived, he choked up on the bat and still hit home runs.
Breaking pitch on the ground to second. Carried to Paulson for one. On to first. Got him. Double play. Robles with good speed, but Stanford with an excellent turn. And we go to the bottom half of the third inning with no score as Stanford. They had defensive problems last night, but they come through with a fine double play. Paulson turns it quickly. And a stretch by Whitmire.
Had this book all messed up.
Stanford coming up with a good defensive play to get him out of the inning.
Well, actually, Sam, we watch here. Frank Carey does not charge the ball. See, he stays back. Now he gives it to Paulson. Paulson makes the double play, but he puts a lot of pressure on the shortstop, and he makes it a much closer play at first base than it should have been.
Eric DeGraw leads off by grounding to George Robles, who throws him out. One man out, bottom of the third.
One of the things you have to do as a second baseman or shortstop in a double play situation is get the ball to your partner as quickly as possible. Like she's saying, wave and get it there quickly. Charge the ball most of the time. If the ball's hit slowly, charge the ball.
That's two balls that Carey hasn't charged. I'm surprised.
I am too, because I've watched him play several times this year, and normally he does go get the ball.
One man out in the bottom of the third. Frank Carey struck out looking in the first inning against Will Vespi, the breaking pitch in the dirt. Frank Carey has been outstanding in postseason play, swinging the bat very well, hitting .462 in 7 postseason games, 12 for 26. Good fastball from Vespi.
He's used the high fastball better than he has any other pitch. And I think that's his best pitch, the high fastball.
He's strong, he can work. He's thrown a lot of pitches before in games. Down low with that one, 2-1. Vespi's last outing was against James Madison in the Atlantic Regional on May the 28th. It was a week ago Saturday when he went 4 innings, gave up 8 hits and 6 runs. On the ground up the middle, a base hit for Frank Carey. Carey was shut out last night, went 0 for 2. It's a base hit here, the 3rd hit of the game for Stanford. And Carey, of course, a threat to run, the leading base stealer for Stanford, and has not been thrown out in postseason play, 9 for 9.
It's a little tough to steal a base off Will Vespi because he does not stop. And you have to time it perfectly.
Troy Paulson handles the bat very well. Singled in the first inning. Popped up.
On another high fastball.
Trujillo on the outfield grass. 2 men out, so Stanford didn't wait for a chance to get something going. Paulson swinging the first pitch and popped it up.
And it's the same high fastball that Frank Carey swung at and missed. This is a high fastball, and it's tough to hit a fastball with some speed on it if it's up in the strike zone.
Now, why does it seem like it's tough to lay off that pitch? That looked like it was out of the strike zone.
Well, it was out of the strike zone, but you see the ball better when it's high because it's right in your eyes. It's at your eye level. So you have a tendency to see the ball better, and you think you can hit it.
Ed Sprague to the plate with 2 men out. Carry the runner at first. The pitch out, nothing going on.
This is a situation where I would think that he would not run. Let Ed Sprague take a shot at swinging the bat against Will Vespi while he's in the stretch. With the wind blowing out to left field as well, I think that would be the best move here.
Fastball misses 2-0. What about Carey being a good base stealer? What about getting him into scoring position for Sprague?
First of all, you steal bases to help your team win, and sometimes not stealing bases helps you more than it does stealing the base. If he steals second base, they may walk. Ed Sprague, or pitch around him. I shouldn't say walk him. And now they may walk him anyway, but at least he's given him an opportunity to swing the bat if Vespi gives him a pitch to hit. But if he stole second base, I guarantee you Ed Sprague would not get a pitch to hit.
Ron Fraser looking at Ed Sprague. He had him on the Pan Am team last year. He knows what he can do. 3-0. Missed outside. Pitching very carefully to Sprague. He walks him. First walk given up by Will Vespi. 2 men on with 2 men out. And another big hitter. Paul Carey stepping in. As Doug Robbins heads into the on-deck circle.
I think one of the things that you'll see here is Paul Carey.
These two teams playing for the right to meet Cal State Fullerton on Thursday night. Tomorrow night, Arizona State 2-1, staying alive with a big win over Florida this afternoon, 10-1. We'll meet undefeated Wichita State. Joe and I will be here to bring you that game live at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. If Wichita State wins, they're in the championship game on Saturday. If Arizona State wins, then those two teams would meet again on Friday. Jose Trujillo leads off the top half of the 4th inning. Miami threatened in the 1st inning when Trujillo doubled. When Fiore walked, Trujillo stole 3rd on ball 4. 1st and 3rd, 1 man out, but then Fiore was thrown out stealing 2nd, attempting to steal 2nd, and Dominguez flied out deep to center field. Trujillo pops it up. Frank Carey calls, and the wind took it a little bit on him.
Frank's a little shaky out there tonight.
He did not have a bad game defensively last night.
He's a good player.
That's right. It was Sprague and Paulson who struggled last night.
Best defensive second baseman I ever saw, Mazeroski. I saw him make a couple of errors too. So. But he'll be all right.
Here's Mike Fiore. Walked. Drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals. But he'll delay pro ball and try and make the U.S. Olympic team. Big curveball misses. And I would think he's a good shot to make the team, having played on the U.S. team in the Pan Am Games last year.
I think that's very important. International experience is very important.
See what the Jug Super Gun reads on Stan Spencer. Breaking pitch says 75. Spencer had a long 1st inning, 16 pitches. That was when Miami threatened with 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Since then, it's been easy going.
Well, he's settled down and he's been getting out in front of the hitters, and I think that's what's important.
Step toward the side on Fiore on that pitch.
Yeah, he's behind Fiore because he's pitching so carefully.
It was good fastball, clocked at 88 on the Jug Super Gun. 2-1 on Mike Fiore. Changeup misses. See 70 miles per hour on that pitch.
One of the things that Stan Spencer does is he stands far to the 3rd base side of the rubber, as you can see there. Now he hesitates and he steps off. He falls off to the 3rd base side. It kind of gives you a crossfire effect if you're a right-handed hitter.
3-1 to Fiore. Breaking ball, a good one.
He's not going to give in to Mike Fiore because he knows he can hurt him, and especially if he pulls the ball to left field with the wind blowing out.
How about those numbers?
Not too bad.
He'd reached base in 56 in a row. Robles broke his record. Fiore, 107 of 108 games.
You're going to go with another breaking ball and try to get it away.
Just missed. Pretty good pitch. Spencer wanted that one. Second walk issued by Stan Spencer, and both to Mike Fiore.
We'll get another look at this breaking ball. And I think it was low, but do you get the feeling that the good hitters get those calls and these other guys get called out on the same pitch?
Sometimes.
It happens in the major leagues.
The
too.
reputation helps.
Right, exactly.
Dominguez hit the ball very hard in the first inning. Eric DeGraw made a tremendous running catch on the warning track in deep center field. Breaking pitch in the dirt. Fiore, as we mentioned, a threat to run, though he doesn't have great speed. He's a good base runner, gets a good jump. He was thrown out trying to steal in the first and third situation in the first inning. He's stolen 30 bases this season. Back. One man out. Fiore, the runner at first. We're in the top half of the fourth inning. No score. Fiore faked. The pitch taken for a strike.
Okay. It's a great experience for a lot of these guys, and they want to make sure they capture that.
Take home the memories of the College World Series.
15 years from now, he looks at that and he'll probably get excited all over again.
It's Rob Word, who's sitting out tonight's game with a sprained ankle. A man from Texas. This is his last year of eligibility, so he wants to remember and savor those memories. Pitch out, Fiore not going.
That's kind of interesting. They pitched out there. They threw him out in the first inning without a pitch out. That kind of says that you're worried about it. And this is a psychological game. If I'm the pitcher and the catcher and I've thrown a guy out, I don't pitch out next time. I let him wonder if he can steal the base. Now, if he steals the base, then I pitch out.
Throw over. Again, a big hole between first and second with Carey shading towards second. Whitmire holding the runner at first. Dominguez can go to right field. And can hit to right field with power. Just 18 years old.
He looks more like 12 or 13.
I'd like to be Mark Marquis and have to look forward to a couple more years of Mike Messina and Stan Spencer.
Well, he's looking forward to coming back here to Omaha is what it is. When you have that type of talent, you've got a head start toward Omaha.
Fiore's running. Pitch hit up the middle. Behind Paulson. Good play. Only play is the first in time. Outstanding play by Troy Paulson, the shortstop. Fiore's in at second. 2 men down.
When you cover the bag, you have to be under control, so if the ball is hit toward the position you just vacated, you can make a play. The ball actually hits the side of the mound, and Troy Paulson had to make a great dive backwards. There you see Fiore is running on the play, but Paulson makes an excellent play. Shows that he's a good infielder. He was under control, even though he was going to cover the bag. You see a lot of guys run toward the bag with their head down and they're out of control. He was under complete control.
2 men out. Will Vespi hits it in the air, foul. Vespi had 3 hits in the win over Fresno State yesterday. Drove in 3 runs. He bunted his last time up and was thrown out by the pitcher, Stan Spencer. Rod Whitmire, the first baseman, with a tremendous scoop. Good breaking ball. Some good defensive plays by Stanford tonight. Whitmire, as I mentioned, Troy Paulson this inning, Eric DeGraw robbing Dominguez in the first inning.
And that comes after playing so poorly defensively in yesterday's ball game.
2-strike pitch in the dirt. Robbins blocked it. Faking Fiore, trying to keep him close to second. Count 1 and 2 on Vespi.
Playing Vespi awfully shallow in right field as well.
Breaking pitch, got him. The slow curveball. Second strike strikeout for Stan Spencer. He walked Mike Fiore, but he left him stranded. Bottom of the fourth we go. No score. Good pitching duel. Two fine right-handers. Will Vespi for Miami. Stan Spencer for Stanford. And we go to the bottom of the fourth. Scoreless. Good crowd here at Rosenblatt Stadium. They've seen some good baseball in this World Series.
Every year at this time, there's some good baseball, Stan. I've been coming here for 3 years, and I don't think I've ever seen a bad game here, really.
Vespi pitching to Doug Robbins, who fouls it off. Robbins singled.
When you get to this point, you usually have the better teams in the country playing, and they usually perform like the better teams in the country.
I think some outstanding teams aren't here, but that's because there are more good teams around the country. When you don't have a Texas or an Oklahoma State, it takes outstanding teams to beat them. Oklahoma State losing to Wichita State, and that team is in the final, or will play for the division final, I should say, division championship. Will Vespi's wife, Debbie, is here in the crowd, watching Will work. To Doug Robbins, 2-1. Fastball hit deep to right center field. Way back. Back goes Vieira to the warning track. He made the catch.
That's a great catch.
Two great center fielders. Eric DeGraw for Stanford. John Vieira. Look at Robbins. He can't believe it. He says, what? I'm out?
What makes this an even tougher play is the fact that he's a left-handed outfielder, and watch, he has to backhand the ball. If the glove's on his left hand, it's a much easier play. But watch, he's got it under control all the way, and he has to backhand the ball. That's what makes it a great play. Not only if he covers so much ground on this play. Excellent play.
That is beautiful. Look at Robbins. Robbins says, I want to... What? Did he catch that? How did he catch that? One man out, count of 1-1 on Ron Whitmire, the first baseman. So DeGraw and Vieira have made superb catches in center field tonight.
Both running into right center, and they're both left-handed.
Breaking pitch misses. 2-1 on Whitmire. There's John Vieira. As mentioned earlier, gets as good a jump on the ball as anyone we've seen this season. And you saw him cover that ground going way back. He was shading toward left center on Robbins and went back to the warning track to make the catch. Missed. 3-1 on Whitmire. Both those drives by Dominguez and Robbins were to right center. To get it out of the ballpark, you've got to pull the ball.
Wind is definitely blowing out to left field tonight. Pulls up the balls hitting the right center.
Walked him. Whitmire, who has a very good eye, picks up a team-leading 43rd walk. Second walk issued by Will Vespi. And Brian Johnson, the left fielder, steps in. Johnson hitting .335 for the season. Breaking pitch hit to short left field. Fiore right there. 2 men out.
He got out in front of it, but he didn't quite get a solid hit on the ball, because if you get the ball up in the air going to left field tonight, it'll carry. He had a good swing, he just mishit it.
Ooh, those ice creams look good, Joe.
Yes.
The half and half, I like those. Two men out here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. The designated hitter, Tim Griffin, steps in. Griffin coming into tonight's game with a leading batting average on the team at .355. This is the 32nd game he started this season. Stanford has played 55. This is their 56th. Stanford second to Arizona State in the Pac-10 South Division. But playing a tough schedule and being defending national champions helped. It was sent to the Northeast Regional. They lost their first game in the regional to St. John's, but came on through and defeated Kentucky 2 straight to make it to the World Series. Fastball on the outside corner. Whitmire, the runner at first, a short lead. The pitch way out of the strike zone. Vespi tends to waste that fastball at 0-2. Just throw it way up and away.
I would think it would be a better pitch if he threw it inside, not way in, but inside, because you'd get a chance for the guy to chase.
That pitch in the dirt, good play by Dominguez.
You will chase a lot of fastballs middle of the plate up in the strike zone, up and out of the strike zone, but you will not chase many up and away. You can't reach it anyway.
2-2 with 2 out.
Most fastball pitchers waste the 0-2 fastball up and in. Right there.
There it is. Good fastball from Vespi. Strikes out Griffin for the second time in the game. 3 strikeouts for Will Vespi. Stanford is kept off the board. A tremendous defensive play by John Vieira. Robbed Doug Robbins. He couldn't believe Vieira made this catch against the wall. Vieira said, "Hey, I can do it." End of 4, no score. The poor man's Morgana. The maniac having a good time. And the little guy's having a good time too. Nice souvenir shirt, hat. Good time at the ballpark. Ray Noriega, freshman right fielder, leads it off as we go to the 5th inning. Stan Spencer's pitch is bunted foul. Noriega with good speed trying to get on.
Getting late in the ball game, actually, because you've gone the first 4 innings and no one's been able to score. Now you start to thinking about trying to get 1 run any way you can, because if you can take a lead and go into the late innings, the other team may start pressing a little bit.
Fastball on the hands. Good pitch from Spencer.
Spencer has used his fastball well by getting it on the inside to the left-handed hitters and on the outside corner to the right-handers. There you see Ron Frazier. Yelling encouragement.
Yeah, from Vancouver, Washington is this young man. Outstanding pitcher. Foul tipped and held on to by Robbins. Noriega goes down on strikes. 3rd strikeout for Stan Spencer.
He had thrown a couple of fastballs on the inside corner to Noriega, and this one is down and away. You'll get a look at what Noriega sees. There you see the ball tails down and away. Can't handle it.
Doug DeCock, the first baseman, steps in. He has not swung the bat well at all thus far in the series. 0 for 9. Fastball lined into right center, a base hit. Big turn for Doug DeCock. 1-out single here in the 5th inning. It's going to make him feel good.
Well, that first one is always the toughest one. If you don't get it in the first couple of ball games, you have a tendency to start pressing again. See a lot of guys start the season 0 for 15, 0 for 20 because you don't get a hit right away. You say, when am I ever going to get a hit?
Everybody on this Miami team is a threat to steal. Doug DeCock has 10 stolen bases. Miami has 185 this season. So look for anything here with Mike Tosar, good contact hitter at the plate. One man out in the top of the 5th. Up high with a fastball. Outfield is shading Tosar way over to left field. Ryan Johnson shaded toward the line in left. Center fielder Eric DeGraw way over to left center. Ball carries straight away in right field. Actually shaded toward right center, giving Tosar a lot of the line. He's back. Is he nervous? He's been in this situation many times before. Good fastball. Stan Spencer, Columbia River High School in Vancouver, Washington. He was 24-4 in his high school career. Doug DeCock is leaning, and time is called at the plate. Tosar, and he's back. Oh, he got him picked off. Whitmire throws to Paulson. Doug DeCock is out. He was leaning again, that time leaning too much.
And that's surprising because he had thrown over the pitch before, and it looked like it was a close play. We'll get another look at it. There you see he's breaking towards second. Whitmire makes a good throw to Paulson, and the tag.
And I think the best thing Spencer did was he really waited on his delivery.
A lot of guys get anxious if you wait, if you hold the ball.
2-1 on Tosar with 2 men out and nobody on. Breaking pitch misses. Tosar making his first start in postseason play, replacing the injured Rob Ward. Bunts it. Back foul.
It's an unusual play when you have your head in the count 3-1 and 2 down. Try to bunt.
Sprague is back at third. Tosar looking for the element of surprise. Up the middle. Carey is there. Long throw is in time, and the side retired. 1 out single by Doug DeCock. But a good move by Stan Spencer to pick him off. We go to the bottom half, the 5th inning. Still no score. Florida State's Richie Lewis was one of the College World Series great competitors and a great personality. Some people hated his brash style, but everyone loved his competitive fire. 1-2 to Westbrook. Struck it out with a fastball.
So he still got the fastball.
11 strikeouts for Richie Lewis. Richie Lewis with a great arm had some memorable moments in the College World Series. I always loved when he jumped up and they bumped chests after the win.
He was a very confident college pitcher. He's going to be a successful pro too.
He's in the Montreal organization, 2nd-round draft pick. This is Eric DeGraw, as we mentioned, an outstanding defensive center fielder. And he showed that outstanding defense in the 1st inning with a great running catch to rob Frank Dominguez of an extra base hit. Keep Miami from scoring. That ball might have hit him in the helmet. It did.
Definitely hit him in the helmet.
Wow.
The ball actually started behind him, and he could not get out of the way.
Glanced off the helmet. He's okay.
You'll see this pitch starts behind him right there, and as he starts to step in, it's right at his face, and he actually turns away. There it's right at his face, and he turns away.
Man, he's fortunate it didn't hit him under that helmet. See how the helmet comes up in the back? Wow.
You know, it's as hard as it is for us to believe. You realize Major League players used to play without helmets, without batting helmets. There you see. And it's amazing that more people were not seriously injured before the invention of the batting helmet.
Now Frank Carey, who is excellent with the bat. Good hit and run man. Makes good contact. Takes a long look. DeGraw, pretty good base runner. Has got good speed at first. Count is 0-1. Breaking pitch blocked nicely by Dominguez. Tozar, the third baseman, is even with the grass line at third. Dean Stott's the coach at third for Stanford. Raw gets back. Mark Marquis, he's the man that gives the signs from the dugout. Go ahead, free up, Raw's back. Close play.
I think, as I mentioned, the later you get in the ball game, the more edgy everyone becomes. Base runners, hitters, and pitchers.
Stanford has had a base runner in every inning. And left 4 stranded. Pitch out. And it gets away from the catcher. It was swung on and missed. Dominguez had called for a pitch out, jumped out of the catcher's box to the left side. The pitch was over the plate. Carey swung and missed. Now Fraser, I think, might be asking if the pitch was foul tipped.
That's exactly what he's asking. We'll get another look at it here. Watch Dominguez, as you said, jumps out for the pitch out. No, he does not make contact with the ball. It just hit Dominguez's glove and bounced away. There, he's way outside. And Vespi either forgot or didn't know that it was supposed to be a pitch out, and he threw a strike.
Somebody got the wrong side somewhere. It's a pass ball charged to Frank Dominguez. And Eric DeGraw's at second with nobody out. Count of 1-2 on Frank Carey.
Normally you would like Frank Carey to try to pull the ball, but with 2 strikes you just have to put the ball in play.
Fouls it back up here. Hot streak Frank Carey went on. Lift his batting average for the season up over 300. There's that fastball up and in. Pretty good pitch.
Well, it's a good pitch with 2 strikes, but Frank Carey laid off of it in the first inning, was called out. I don't think he can handle the ball up and in, and he doesn't want to, so he takes that pitch, which is smart. Very few hitters can hit the ball when it's up and in with some speed on it.
On the ground. Knocked down by Doug DeCock. It'll be a tough play. He got him. Vespi got over nicely. And Carey is out. Good speed. Meanwhile, DeGraw advances to third.
This is an excellent job by Carey to pull the ball. An excellent job by DeCock after he bounced the ball off his chest. But the real good play was made by Will Vespi because he got to the bag under control. He wasn't running full speed. He was there in plenty of time. As we look at Carey doing his job by pulling the ball, DeCock knocks it down. But see, he has some place to throw it. He didn't have to lead the guy or try to catch him on the run. It's good play by Will Vespi and DeCock.
1 man out, and now Miami brings the infield in with Troy Paulson at the plate.
They're actually halfway, I guess. The third baseman is all the way in, but the other infielders are halfway, which says that they're going to try to take a shot at the plate, but I think you have to make a commitment one way or the other. Either you play the infield in or you play the infield back, because if you play the infield halfway and the guy doesn't hit the ball hard to shortstop, he's not going to be able to throw DeGraw out at the plate.
Paulson singled his first time up, popped out, second time up. Good breaking pitch from Will Vespi. 72 pitches. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Breaking pitch again. Might have been a straight change.
He's ahead in the count 1-2. This would be a good time to try that high fastball out of the strike zone, of course, because even if Paulson gets to it, he will probably pop it up or hit it up in the air. Now they're moving the infield in.
Well, the left side is back. The right side, only Trujillo is in.
Yeah, but the shortstop, Robles, starts in. Now he stops. There's a good high fastball, but he didn't get it over the plate.
2-2.
You're right. They're playing a strange defense now. Now the third baseman has gone back. Tozar is back. There's a fastball up and in. He needs that out over the plate so that he can swing it.
Got him. He chased the bad pitch. Paulson strikes out. A good contact hitter. Troy Paulson goes down swinging.
Well, as I say, you start to get anxious in these situations now, and you know, this pitch doesn't even start in the strike zone, and Paulson chases it. But like I say, you start to get a little anxious now, and you want to drive in the run. You see the runner at third, you want to get him in. So you'd rather have an aggressive hitter up there than one that stands there and takes strike 3.
Pretty good pitching by Will Vespi. Showed him some hard stuff. Got him on the breaking pitch. Here's Ed Sprague with 2 men out and a runner at third.
And the question is, would he rather pitch to Ed Sprague or pitch to Paul Carey again?
Well, last time up, he walked him on 4 pitches, pitched very carefully. Sprague fouled to the catcher in the 1st inning. 2 men out and a runner at third for Stanford. Hit high in the air, deep to left center field. Vieira going back. He has room. On the warning track, he puts it away. Sprague used up just about all of the ballpark. Vieira covered a lot of ground and puts it away. End of 5. Miami and Stanford in an elimination game. No score. Sam Rosen and Joe Morgan here at Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska. Hope you're enjoying our coverage of the College World Series. This is Game 10 of the series, an elimination matchup. Miami and Stanford. The winner to play Cal State Fullerton on Thursday night. Stanford here in the College World Series. They've played several of these College World Series teams during the regular season and not fared well. 0-2 against Miami, 5-14 overall. 1-1 thus far in the College World Series, having beaten Fresno State and then losing last night to Cal State Fullerton.
Well, you'd have to say that they are underdogs in this series then, because they have not fared too well against the other teams that are in the College World Series. But in a short series, anything can happen. So Stanford was not playing well at the beginning of the season when they played some of those teams, according to Martin Marquis. But they've been playing well lately.
There's John Vieira. He's got an outstanding defensive play, got a base hit his last time up. And then he was wiped out on a double play. Good fastball from Stan Spencer. Stanford wasted a fine pitching effort by Mike Messina last night. Messina was beaten by a superb pitching effort by Mark Beck. Now they come back with Stan Spencer, another freshman. So Messina and Spencer, 2 real good-looking prospects. And obviously, if he can keep Stanford alive, Lee Clemmel, the senior, would be ready to go on Thursday. The Judge Super Gun on Stan Spencer says 84 as the pitch is grounded foul. Count of 2-2 on John Vieira.
That was not one of his best fastballs, because he's been throwing harder than that.
Some pretty good pitching by Stan Spencer. Fastball hit in the air to deep right field. Carey going back. That ball is going gone. John Vieira breaks the scoreless tie with a home run. And Miami leads 1-0. He really got around on that pitch.
Well, and I don't think the wind affected it at all. Actually, he hit that that ball pretty well, but the wind had no effect on it. It was a fastball on the inside corner, and he turned on it. It was an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, and Vieira turned and pulled it over the right field wall. We'll get another look at it. You can see Doug Robbins is set up inside, and that's where the pitch is. And Vieira hits it out.
Terry goes back, but there's no way through the fence. 8th home run of the season for John Vieira. George Robles hits it foul. So Miami has broken through. They're alive in the Miami dugout. George Robles struck out looking in the first and into a double play in the third. Tries to bunt.
Actually, I expected Stanford to be the one to maybe drive the ball out of the ballpark because they have stronger right-handed hitters than Miami does.
On the ground to Frank Carey at second. One man out. Keeping Robles off the bases. Saying hello back to Miami. Jose Trujillo is 1 for 2, doubled in the first inning. Trujillo really hit the ball hard, deep left center field up against the fence. He's got good power. Sometimes tends to overswing and try to swing for the long ball too much.
That's a problem most of us little guys have.
You didn't do that.
Yes, I did. More than I should have. Let's put it that way. Ron Frazier is a little happier now than he was before.
See that number? Likes to score first. Put some pressure on. Count of 2-0 on Trujillo. Slowly to third. Spring in between hop. Makes his throw. Especially after last night.
Right, that was a nice play. He charged the ball, and as you mentioned, he got it on an in-between hop, which is not the way you want to catch the ball. You want to get it on the short hop or the big hop. But he charges the ball properly, makes a good play. That's a nice reaction. Nice glove work, and we know he has a strong arm.
2 men out here in the 6th inning, and Mike Fiore, who's walked twice. It's up. Mike Fiore, who has graduated with his business management degree, drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, try out for the U.S. Olympic team. Dearly love one more shot at the national championship. Fastball hit foul. He was on the Miami championship team in 1985 as a freshman. He was back in the World Series in '86 when Miami finished 3rd. Arizona won that year.
Stan Spencer has thrown him so many breaking balls earlier. He was sitting on it, and he's throwing 2 fastballs. Now he'll get the curveball.
Up the middle, Paulson ranges to his left, throws out Fiore. 1-2-3 after the home run. The fastball to Vieira is put over the fence in right field, and we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning with Miami leading Stanford 1-0. John Vieira, the hero of the ball game thus far for the Hurricanes of Miami. Good defense and the big home run.
College baseball fans, if you can't make it to Omaha for the 1988 College World Series, here's your chance to obtain the official College World Series souvenir program. It's all here. The teams, the records, and special features sure to interest every baseball fan. Send your check or money order for $6 to College World Series program, P.O. Box 1988A, Lexington, Kentucky 40593-1988. Please allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
The winner advances to another meeting with Cal State Fullerton on Thursday night. The loser will be packing the bags and heading home. Bottom of the 6th inning, Paul Carey, the cleanup man, leads off, takes a ball from Will Vespi. Carey is fly to left and grounded to first.
Vespi has done an excellent job, especially in light of the fact that he had not been pitching well coming into the ball game.
Hit in the air, deep left center field. Long way for Vieri. Can't get there. The ball is gone. A home run for Paul Carey. A line shot. They needed production from the big guy in the cleanup spot, and he comes through.
He hits the ball best to left center field and left field, and he really crushed this ball to left center field. Watch, he really does it with the upper part of his body, so he's real strong. Watch his hands. Good hand action here, right there. And that's hit like a shot. Watch his hands, how well. He gets in a good hitting position and really uses his hands, the upper part of his body. Nice swing.
Not even Vieira, with his great ground coverage, could get there. So a leadoff home run for Miami in the top of the 6th. A leadoff home run for Stanford in the bottom of the 6th.
And it's very important that Stanford answered quickly.
Doug Robbins, the catcher, fouls it back, count of 1-1.
Because, as I mentioned, you start to feel pressure as you get in the later innings in an elimination ball game. And if you're down by 1 run, there's more pressure on you as a hitter and more pressure on your pitcher. So now they're back even. And Stanford is the home team, so they have the last shot. You always feel like you're ahead in a tie ball game if you're a home team.
Robles charging, makes the play. One man down, bottom of the 6th. Paul Carey now with 12 home runs this season. He had 12 last season as a freshman. If he plays his 4 years at Stanford, he would set the career home run mark at Stanford. Here's Ron Whitmire.
I think he'll hit more home runs next year than he did this year. I think all the success he had last year put a lot of pressure on him at the beginning of the season. And it took him a while to get started. When I saw him earlier in the season, we did a game for ESPN against UCLA, he was just not the same guy. And then he started to swing the bat well, and he's still swinging it well in the second half of the season.
Whitmire rips it into left field for a base hit. Whitmire goes well to the opposite field. Good line drive hitter. Runner at first with 1 man out. Stanford has had runners in every inning. This time they had 1 run around the bases.
There's Ron Frazier looking at his scorecard, and he's also sending some relief help down to the bullpen. I was going to say it's about time you start looking at Will Vespi because he has not been pitching on a consistent basis, and he may start to get tired this inning or next inning. That's not to say that he's tired because these guys got the base hits, but you have to start wondering about a guy who hasn't been pitching on a consistent basis when you get into the late innings.
Ryan Johnson, the left fielder, steps in. Whitmire a short lead, pitches high and away with a fastball. Johnson, who has hit well this season, has not shown us the good bat thus far in the World Series. Johnson, a contact hitter. Pitch out, runner going, good throw by Dominguez, he's out. It was a hit and run. Johnson swung and missed at the pitch out. Dominguez with a quick release, and Whitmire is caught stealing.
It's a good call by Ron Frazier. You see Mark was saying it was my fault, my fault. Here you see Dominguez comes up and he makes a good, strong throw to second base. The only thing I would question about that play is why Trujillo was covering instead of the shortstop. I'll tell you why in a second.
All right, why?
Anytime you have a right-handed hitter up and there's a pitch out, the only place he can hit the ball is to the right side. So you don't want your right side covered. You'd rather have your shortstop covered, because he's not going to be able to pull a pitch out through the hole at shortstop, but he can slap it through the hole at second base.
2-1 on Johnson. Fastball on the ground, deep at third. Long throw for Tozar. He got him. He was 2 steps on the outfield grass. Mike Tozar throws Johnson. Sides retired. But Stanford is tied it here in the 6th inning. A leadoff home run by Paul Carey matches the leadoff home run of John Vieira. And so as we go to the 7th in this elimination game, Miami and Stanford are tied 1-1 as Paul Carey hit one out. Each team with a home run in the 6th inning. Carey matching the home run of Vieira. And that's where we stand as we go to the 7th. Outstanding pitching by Will Vespi of Miami and Stan Spencer of Stanford. Some pretty good defense by both teams.
Excellent defense in this ball game, especially after last night for Stanford. But they are a good defensive ball club.
Breaking pitch to Dominguez. Take a look at Tosar's play behind third base.
Well, you know, the thing about this, Sam, is that he would not have been able to make this play except for the fact they had pitched out and got the runner. But he makes a great play from way on the grass. The reason he would not have been able to make that play, he would not have been able to play that deep if there was a runner at first base.
Dominguez hits it hard into left field for a base hit. Leading off the 7th inning. Big turn at first, but nowhere to go. Frank Dominguez, who was robbed of an extra base hit in the 1st inning on a brilliant catch by center fielder Eric DeGraw. Came with a runner at third base and stopped Miami from scoring. Here's the pitcher and designated hitter, Will Vespi. He bunted, it was thrown out, and then struck out his last time up. Dominguez does not have good speed. Carrying, or rather spraying, charging at third. Throw to first, and Dominguez just back.
Well, you see Ron Frazier having Vespi square around and try to sacrifice. And it shows the variety of moods he goes through. He will hit and run a lot. He will be an aggressive player, manager sometimes, and then other times he will play fundamental baseball and bunt people station to station.
Look at Sprague charging in, anticipating the bunt. He swings away over the head of the pitcher. Paulson throws out Vespi, but the effect of the sacrifice is there as Dominguez moves up. Fake the bunt and put it in play.
Well, he squared around early. Now he takes it back, and he gets a good swing at the ball. And he chops it off. It actually goes off of Stan's glove. Now to throw to first base by Paulson. There you see Dominguez going in and Paulson coming in to make the throw to first base. It was a tough play if whether he could wait it at second base and made the tag or not. That would have been a tough play. I think he made the right decision. Always get one out.
You know, I think if Spencer gets that ball, they have the man at second base.
They would have easily.
Here's Ray Noriega. Curveball stays up.
But in effect, with it hitting off the top of his glove, it slowed the ball down. So Paulson had to charge the ball. If he would have let it go through, I think Paulson could have caught it near the bag.
Noriega 0 for 2 in the game. Grounded to first and struck out. Again, the curveball way up.
His arm speed and everything slowed down on that pitch. He didn't really put anything behind it. He's been having pretty good arm speed on his curveball before, but that one was just kind of rolled up there.
Count of 2-0 on Ray Noriega. Fastball popped foul out of play. One man out, top half of the 7th inning. Steve Chitrin, the ace of the bullpen for Stanford, is up. And he's ready. Freshman Ray Noriega at the plate. It's fine play. Put Vespi in the designated hitter's role. Noriega taking over in right field. Breaking pitch, foul on the plate. Ball carry in right field for Stanford, shaded way over into right center. Noriega can pull. He's got a chance for a triple.
With him throwing an off-speed breaking ball, he has a chance to pull the ball. But with 2 strikes, he's probably aiming back through the middle of the diamond anyway.
Shading him way over to left field. Breaking pitch stays up and in. Full count. Take a look at where Carey is in right field, way over. McGraw in center is way over in left center. Ryan Johnson in left, shading toward the line. Got it. Stayed with a breaking pitch, and that time it was a good one.
And he got it in an excellent spot. The ball broke down under the hands, and there was nothing Noriega could do with it. He swung over the top of it. You'll see this pitch here from home plate. This is what Noriega sees, and it just breaks down and in. Good pitch. Excellent break on the curveball.
4 strikeouts for Spencer. Second time Noriega has gone down swinging. Here's Doug DeCock. He singled his last time up. This time again, the breaking pitch high. We're seeing that more frequently now from Stan Spencer.
Well, he's just not, you know, his arm speed is gone on those particular pitches, but he seems to be able to get it back when he needs to. That one's a little better. It's not, that one wasn't as good as the last one, but it was pretty good.
18-year-old freshman Stan Spencer. Good breaking ball again.
I think he's decided that they're going to have to get a base hit off his curveball, and here it comes again. This one is actually in the middle of the plate. He's lucky he had such a sharp break on it.
1-2. Breaking ball up the middle. Paulson gets there. Throws high and he's safe. First error of the ball game. Paulson got to the ball, had a chance to make the play, but threw high.
Well, he gets to the ball, as you say. He straightens up, and he just really kind of releases the ball underneath the ball, and it rides up. Good play by Whitmire, and you see his heads up play checking the runner at third right away.
Now runners at first and third for Miami with 2 men out, and Mike Tosar.
Paulson did a good job to get to the ball. We should give him credit for that. And then he just rushed his throw a little bit.
Mark Marquis is going out to the mound. He's got Steve Chitrin warmed and ready. Top half of the 7th, game tied 1-1. Marquis is looking down to the bullpen and ready to make a decision here.
This is the last chance. You do not get a tomorrow if you can't win this ball game. So he has to decide whether he wants to leave Stan in or whether he wants to go in and get Steve Chitrin from the bullpen.
And he's calling on Chitrin. So the freshman, Stan Spencer, a fine effort, allowing just 5 hits in 6 2/3 innings, leaves in favor of the stopper. The closer for Stanford coming out of the bullpen, Steve Chitrin. We'll be right back. Pretty good pitcher. Right-hander Steve Chitrin, a junior from Las Vegas, stands 6 feet 180 pounds, comes on to make his 31st appearance of the season, 30th in relief. Record of 7-7, but that is very deceiving. The first part of the season was not a good one. He really struggled. He settled down and come on strong. He was very effective in the Northeast Regional, where he was 2-0, and in 4 1/3 innings of relief work, his earned run average was 0. And you can't get better than that. It's in this situation where a third to first pickoff play could work if DeCock is leaning, and he was picked off his last time when he was on.
Yes, there you can see Whitmire is playing behind DeCock. He's not holding on at the bag. They're telling him if he wants to steal second base, go ahead.
Pitch to Tosar. Fastball in the outside corner. 1-1. Top half of the 7th inning. Score ties 1-1. Runners at first and third for Miami with 2 men out.
This is one of those unorthodox calls right here when you do not hold a runner at first, but he does not want to give the left-handed hitter Tosar a hold over there to shoot at.
Good slider by Chitrin.
But I think it's also a situation now where you might see Ron Frazier run with DeCock at first base, try to put a little pressure on the Stanford defense.
DeCock with a big lead. does not go. The pitch taken outside.
I don't think you'll see a third to first move here, pickoff move here, because the last thing Stanford can do is afford to make a mistake on a play like that, especially when you do not have Whitmire holding the runner at first base.
One thing Chitrin double-checked is where Whitmire is playing to make sure that he doesn't turn and balk with Whitmire behind the runner.
Chitrin's only concern now is with the runner at the plate. And he's ahead in the count, or even in the count. He has 2 strikes on him.
Tough spot for the freshman Mike Tosar. Runner goes, pitch taken, they give the base.
I figured Ron Frazier would go ahead and run the cock after he got 2 strikes on the hitter to see if he could force Stanford into making a mistake.
Stanford gave DeCock the stolen base. Runners at second and third. The count full on Tosar. And on deck is John Vieira. Fouled off the fastball into the Stanford dugout.
That's a good piece of hitting by Tosar, because everyone in the park probably figured Chitrin was going to come with the slider, and he threw him a real good fastball away, and Tosar was able to get a piece of it.
Breaking pitch, he took it for ball 4. That was the slider, down and in. Tosar held up, and the bases are loaded.
We'll get another look at the pitch. It's close. And as we said before, it's not where the catcher catches the ball, it's where it crosses the plate, which decides whether it's high, low, or inside or not.
And here is John Vieira. A single and a home run. And a tremendous defensive play in right center field, robbing Doug Robbins of an extra base hit with a great running catch. Bases loaded, 2 men out, top of the 7th. Score tied 1-1. Missed with a breaking pitch.
Chitrin has to throw a strike here. You cannot get behind a good hitter like Vieira or 2-0, because you know if you get behind 2-0 and have to come with the fastball, he's going to hit you hard someplace.
Do you throw the fastball here?
I would, yes.
He does. That's overpowering stuff.
And when you do that, you still have a little doubt in the hitter's mind. But if you go 2-0, there's no doubt. He knows you're going to throw the brick fastball. Here's a good high fastball, and Vieira chases it.
That's what a home run will do for you. He went chasing that big pitch up.
I don't know what he'll do here, but I would come with another fastball.
Foul the fastball back. 1-2 on John Vieira. Frank Dominguez, the runner at third.
See, that accomplishes 2 things. It puts in Vieira's mind that, hey, I will throw your fastball. And now he also has to protect against a curveball. Now he can go either way. Now he can throw him the breaking ball if he wants, or he can come back with another high fastball. I think he'll come with this breaking ball this time, because he's shown him that he can throw him the fastball, so he has to protect against it, which will help you with the breaking ball.
1-2. It is the breaking ball. He got him called out on strikes. Chitrin gets out of the jam, and Miami leaves the bases loaded. He walked 1, but he got Vieira looking at the slider. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Miami and Stanford tied 1-1. Steve Chitrin comes out of the bullpen to get out of the jam. Will Vespi warming up for the bottom half of the 7th inning. He's had base runners on in every inning, but he's made big pitches when he had to. Thrown 88 pitches through 6 innings, 49 strikes, 39 balls. 5 hits allowed. He's walked 2 and struck out 4. 1 run, a home run hit by Paul Carey. Miami makes a defensive change. Henry Hernandez, excellent glove man, swung the bat pretty good in his 2 times up against Fresno State yesterday. Moves in, replacing Doug DeCock at first base. You know, Joe, this is what World Series games are supposed to be like.
Yeah, this is an excellent ball game. This is what the championship game is supposed to be like.
And now Stanford will send up Jeff Sanger to pinch hit for Tim Griffin. Griffin struck out his first 2 times up. Sanger, who was the designated hitter last year in the College World Series for Stanford, comes in to pinch hit for Griffin and goes after a high fastball. Stanford is stranded 5 in the ball game. Sanger has struggled with the bat. He's had a few chances this season. Really hasn't swung the bat well. On the ground to second, Trujillo. 1 out. It was a good job of pitching by Steve Chitrin on John Vieira.
I think it was excellent choice of pitches in the situation that he was in. Because once you establish to the hitter that you're not afraid to throw him the fastball in that situation, he has to respect the fastball. And then you throw him the breaking ball off of that, and it can fool him quite often.
Eric DeGraw, the center fielder, grounded to short and was hit back of the helmet his last time up. Pitch glanced off the helmet. Fortunately, he was not injured. The book on Stan Spencer, the freshman starter for Stanford, 6 2/3 innings through 85 pitches. 1 run, 5 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Fine piece of pitching.
Excellent job. Both he and Will Vespi have done an outstanding job here tonight. And as you mentioned, Steve Chitrin came in and pitched to 2 hitters. He pitched to 1 hitter and did a great job.
Missed with a slider. Tomorrow night, Joe and I will be here to bring you a very important game. Wichita State taking on Arizona State. If Wichita State wins it, they will take the division and will qualify for the championship game. They will be in the championship game. If Arizona State wins, the 2 teams will play again Friday. Miami and Stanford trying to stay alive for a matchup on Thursday night with Cal State Fullerton. 1-2 to DeGraw. A little off that pitch, just missed.
We'll get another look at it. It's a fastball, and it looks like it's on the inside corner. DeGraw is caught looking.
Frank Carey struck out looking in the first, singled in the third, and grounded to first to advance the runner back in the 5th inning.
And when he advanced the runner in the 5th inning, it was a better job of hitting than it was when he got the base hit in the 3rd inning. He did a great job of moving the runner over to 3rd with less than 2 outs.
Big breaking ball. Misses. 1-1. Stanford had a runner in 3rd, 1 man out in the 5th. Troy Paulson struck out, and Ed Sprague flied out to end the inning. Good fastball. Still has good velocity.
And he's getting the ball down now as opposed to throwing the high fastball earlier. He's getting the fastball down around the knees, which is good if he's losing a little bit of his velocity.
Hit hard, deep right center field. Vieira going back to the warning track, and he gets there. John Vieira does it again. Takes away an extra base hit from Frank Carey. And the side's retired. 1, 2, 3 for the first time for Will Vespi in the ball game. For the 2nd time in the game, John Vieira with an excellent defensive play in center field as he tracks down this bid for an extra base hit. We go to the 8th, Miami and Stanford, 1-1. Joe, John Vieira, I don't think got a real good break on this ball, but he really ran it down well.
Well, it's not as good a play as the one he made on Doug Robbins in the 5th inning, but it's still an excellent play because he had to cover a lot of ground in a short period of time.
And with the pressure on in a 1-1 ball game, that ball gets by him. It's a triple for Carey. John Vieira's had quite a game. Top of the order for Miami in the 8th. George Robles facing Steve Chitrin. Robles fouls it back, 0-2. Robles has been kept off the bases. Very important.
One of the things that is important is Steve Chitrin has 2 pitches that he can use. A good fastball and a good breaking ball. And he figures he can get a hitter out with either one. And that's what is very important going down the stretch, because then you don't have to worry about getting behind in the count and having to throw a fastball.
1-2. Breaking pitch foul. Even with no one on base, Chitrin pitching from the stretch position. Obviously the most comfortable position for him.
And that's something that a lot of major league players are doing now. I don't particularly think it's a good idea, because if you could pitch better from the stretch than you could from the windup, why would they ever wind up in the first place? I think you get more momentum when you do wind up. But they started doing it because a lot of your relievers, whenever they come in, they're in this stretch position. So that's why it actually started. But I do think that you get more momentum and more drive pitching from the windup.
2-2. Missed. 3-2 now. This is a man they don't want to have on. Robles can make things happen. Got him with a fastball. Chitrin with overpowering stuff.
Well, he took the count to 3-2, throwing a couple of breaking balls. Then he just rears back and throws a high fastball right by Robles. No chance. Spencer.
He had a fine night. 85 pitches, 56 strikes. Allowed just 1 run, the home run by John Vieira. Walked 2 and struck out 4. Messina and Spencer. 2 fine pitching performances by Stanford back-to-back. Freshman Jose Trujillo, 2-0. Trujillo doubled in the first. His only hit of the game. 5 hits for each team. Each team with leadoff home runs in the 6th inning. Good fastball.
Arm. He can go for a little while.
91 miles per hour on the Jug Super Gun. Let's see what it says here. It says 93. And even if it's a little high, Joe, it's still pretty good.
Yes. Well, he's definitely throwing hard.
Count is full. Going almost exclusively with the fastballs to Trujillo. Missed. A dangerous man is aboard for Miami as Chitrin lost him. One man out. Top of the 8th. Mike Fiore steps in. He's walked twice and grounded to short. He handles the bat well. Ooh, Trujillo dives back in. To steal. He's second on the team with 33 stolen bases. He dives back in. Chitrin showing a good move to first base.
Well, he has a quick move before he starts his stretch, but from the before he gets into the stretch position. The key is how good is it after he gets into the stretch position.
First and second for Fiore if they play hit and run. And Trujillo wants first, holding the runner and carry the second baseman. Fiore hits well to the right side. Trujillo a good lead at first. And he's back. Meanwhile, Mike Fiore waits. And this time he's just back. Quite a battle between Chitrin and Trujillo.
See, he's going from... He's throwing to first.
Got him.
Very close. Very close play. He's throwing before he comes into the set position. And Trujillo is still trying to move off to get his lead at that time. You have to get your lead before. You can't be moving toward second base when he's coming up into a stretch position.
Trujillo is daring him. And again. 6 straight throws to first base. Trujillo slips off again. Close. Now, who do you think should give in here, Joe?
Well, I think Chitrin should give his more concentration to Fiore. Doug Robbins throws well from behind the plate. And all he has to do is try to keep him as close as possible and then give Robbins a chance. Because you see he's been thrown out 13 times. It's not a great percentage.
Trujillo stole a base in this game, giving him 34 for the season. Short lead this time. That time Trujillo barely walked off the base.
Yeah, what you do not want to do is take any of your concentration away from Mike Fiore. That's what a base stealer can do for a team. He can make you take your concentration away from the hitter, and you hang one to the hitter or not get it in the proper location, and the hitter can hurt you. I think he should be more concerned with Fiore right now, really. I think and leave it Trujillo to Doug Robbins.
Barely off the base that time. Looks like Trujillo is giving in. He's not moving far off the bag here.
He could be decoying, but I think Chitrin still has to concentrate on Fiore. See, now he's behind in the count to Fiore.
Robbins calls time, and we'll go out to remind Chitrin about the man at the plate.
Exactly. Now he has to give a 2-0 pitch to Fiore, and that can hurt more than a stolen base right now.
1 man out, runner at first. In the top half of the 8th inning, game tied 1-1. Marquis. Nothing much he can do here. Brought on the ace of the bullpen. All he can do is hope he can do the job. Trujillo fakes the pitch, taking ball 3. Tough on a hitter like Fiore. He just doesn't see many good pitches to hit.
Right, but I think you have to give the tip of the hat to Trujillo because he has forced Chitrin to get behind to Fiore.
3-1. Now, what do you do? 3-1. Hitter's pitch. Put the runner in motion.
Well, it depends on what type of hitter Fiore is. If he likes to sit on a pitch, get a fastball where he can really drive it, or if he just wants to fit the fastball and swing at it. If he's going to swing at it, I say send the runner. But if he wants to get a pitch he can drive, you don't send the runner. So it's a matter of his philosophy at the plate. And of course, Ron Frazier knows that better than anyone else.
Trujillo at first almost got caught in between steps off the bag. 3-1 on Fiore with 1 man out.
I would say he's not going because he's not fighting for a lead.
He is going. Check swing foul. He decoyed.
Well, that was more of a hit and run then. That's what I was questioning, whether Frazier wanted to make Fiore go at a pitch that might be on the borderline, might be on the edge or not. Let's see if he looks back. Yeah, he looks back, so that means it was hit and run.
Chitrin has faced 5 batters since coming on. This is the 4th full count he's gone to. Runner goes. Pitch is taken for ball 4. 3rd time Fiore has walked Trujillo and Fiore, runners at first and second with one man out. And here's Frank Dominguez. Was robbed of an extra base hit in the first inning. Going to get a visit to the mound by Stanford pitching coach. It's Tom Duncan. What's the chatter here, Joe?
Well, I would think that he would tell him that, hey, you've got a good fastball. You don't have to be afraid to throw it. I think he got himself in trouble with Trujillo. I think all he had to do was throw his fastball. There's only a few guys in the Miami lineup, maybe a couple, that I think can handle his fastball. So I think he should have gone after Trujillo with his fastball like he did Robles. And I think he's reminding him, hey, you still have a good fastball. You don't have to feel like you have to get every hitter out with a curveball.
Chitrin has faced 5 batters since coming on with 2 men out in the 7th inning. He's walked 3 and struck out 2. The game tied 1-1. Frank Dominguez robbed of an extra base hit in the first inning on a great play by the center fielder Eric DeGraw. Grounded to short in the 4th, singled in the 7th to left field.
He doesn't have to be afraid to throw that fastball to anyone. All he has to do is concentrate on getting it in the location that he wants.
Infield in double play depth for Stanford. Dominguez does not run that well. If they get the ground ball, a good chance to turn 2. Breaking pitch hangs way up. Outstanding last year in Stanford's drive to the national championship. Junior right-hander Steve Chitrin.
They're definitely too shallow, I believe, Sam, in center field for a guy like Dominguez. They're a little shallow all the way around.
Good breaking ball. Robbins faking. Fiore back to first. Ahead on the count, 1-2. You see the outfield bunched toward the gaps. Plenty of room, but as Joe mentioned, playing pretty shallow, especially in center and right.
And the wind is blowing out and left.
Got him with a breaking ball. Dominguez goes down swinging. 3rd strikeout for Steve Chitrin.
He started him off with a good fastball, and now he finishes him off with a good curveball right on the outside corner and down. There you can see Dominguez is way out in front. His front shoulder pulls out too quickly.
Well, a chance for Will Vespi to help his own cause, but he is 0 for 3 thus far. Curveball stays outside. As we mentioned coming in, Vespi had hit only .225 when he pitches. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Bunted his first time up, struck out his second time up, and grounded to short last time. Fastball, he went around. Trujillo, the runner at second, with good speed. Fiore has called time at first. Seems like the first base bag has come out. Bob Jones replaces it.
Umpires can do it all.
Count of 1-1 as Fiore leads off. Breaking ball hit on the ground to carry at second. On the Whitmire, and the side's retired. Steve Chitrin got into some trouble when he walked Trujillo and Fiore, but he pitches out of it by striking out Dominguez and getting Vespi on a ground ball. Still tied 1-1. He has ESPN's live presentation of the 1988 NCAA College World Series is being brought to you by AT&T, the right choice. By Wilson Sporting Goods Company, where there's a will, there's Wilson. By the good time, great taste of McDonald's. And by Olympus, makers of 35mm cameras and video. Sam Rosen and Joe Morgan here at Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska. This is an elimination game to the bottom of the 8th inning. Stanford and Miami tied 1-1. Troy Paulson leads it off for Stanford. Takes a fastball up high. Troy Paulson singled his first time up. Popped to second, and last time with a runner at third and one man out, he struck out. It's in the 5th inning.
That was a very key at bat in this ball game. He needed to put the ball in play, and he was not able to.
Junior right-hander Will Vespi from Haddonfield, New Jersey. 101 pitches. They call him prime time. He's responded. Breaking pitch on the ground, wide of third. Shortstop Robles throws on the run and gets him. That's a tough play, and Robles made it.
Well, it took a weird hop, and it made it a very tough play. Paulson was flying down the line, but Robles made a fine throw. You see, Tosar tries to get to it. He can't get there. Actually made it a little casual. It wasn't as tough a play as we thought, I guess.
Think he made it look harder?
Yeah, I guess he did.
Here comes Ed Sprague. He's had 2 home runs in the College World Series. Last time up, fly deep to left center field. Vieira hauled it in on the warning track.
He just missed the ball in the last time at bat. If he'd have pulled it 5 more feet, he would have gotten out of here.
Missed with a fastball, 2-0. Sprague walked in the 3rd inning when Vespi pitched very carefully to him. Missed with a breaking ball, 3-0.
You think he'll be hitting?
No reason why not.
I would let him go.
I agree. If he gets a pitch he can drive, go for it. Takes a fastball. 3-1.
A lot of hitters cannot hit 3-0. They don't feel comfortable swinging 3-0 because they're afraid they may chase a pitch.
Good breaking pitch. He chased that one, 3-1. But isn't that, Joe, because of conditioning? Because down through the years you're told 3-0 you take?
Well, in most cases it is. From the time you're a little leaguer, you do. This is a breaking ball, and Sprague chases it.
Full count pitch. Missed with a fastball. Sprague gets a 1-out walk here in the bottom of the 8th. Second time he's walked. The 3rd walk given up by Will Vespi. And here's the home run man stepping to the plate. Ball carried. Lined the home run deep over the left center field fence. In the bottom half of the 6th inning, leading off, it matched a leadoff home run in the top of the 6th hit by John Vieira of Miami. That's where we stand here in the bottom of the 8th. Good breaking pitch.
I think Paul Carey has a better chance of being able to pull an off-speed pitch in the hole over first base than he does the fastball. And he has a big hole between 1st and 2nd now because Miami's playing in double play position.
Good fastball, Vespi. Playing that one on the inside corner.
He likes the ball out over the plate. And Vespi got that fastball right on the inside corner.
See Paul Carey's numbers really coming on in the last 2 months. 405 over the last 31 games with all 11 home runs. That was coming into tonight. He hit his 12th tonight. High fastball out of the zone. Nervous moments. He seems calm. A lot of wins. 1,000 .69 in his career. Just got a piece of the fastball.
That was a good spot for it, right up above the hands and inside.
Flashing the signs from the top step. Former All-American at Stanford. He played in the College World Series, did Mark Marquis. Runner at first with 1 out. Changeup. It's just inside.
But it didn't fool him. I don't think he should throw him too many changeups. I really don't. He waits on the ball pretty well. He waits back. He keeps his weight back. He's got good balance. I think if that pitch would have been over the plate, he would have handled it pretty well.
He threw it again. He bounced it in the dirt. That's Debbie Vespi. She's nervous. Tense moment for her.
She's probably having a good time here in Omaha. She doesn't want to go home yet.
Did he hear her? Runner goes, hit in the air to left field, slicing deep, and that ball is caught by Fiore against the fence. Mike Fiore ran to the fence, hurt his arm as he reached up against the fence and took a home run away from Paul Carey.
When he first hit the ball, I thought he hit it better than it looked like Fiore was going, tracking it down. But he's really hurt his arm, I think.
Fiore slammed into the fence, making the catch.
Well, his arm was above the fence, and he probably caught it on top. We'll get another look at it here.
Wow.
His arm hits. I'm surprised that he was able to hold on to the ball, because when he hits you like that, usually it'll throw your hand open.
See, the initial reaction, the instinct is to throw that ball in, which he did, and then tend to the injury.
Well, I think that's a great catch, because there's no doubt the ball's over the fence.
He caught one yesterday up against the fence.
There, see how his glove fell off his hand? That's the normal reaction. That's why I say when his hand hit the fence, I thought it would knock his hand open and his glove might fall over the fence. That's a great play.
When Carey first hit it, Joe, I didn't think he hit it very well, but that was a case where the wind did carry that ball. It was way up in the air, and you saw Fiore didn't go right back to the fence. He kept drifting back as the wind carried it back.
Well, I actually thought he hit it better. I really did. I thought he hit it good enough to get out of here. But Fiore was closer to the plate than I was, and he could tell it wasn't that far. But as it got up in the wind, he could see it was carrying very well.
And again, that fence, that part of the left field fence has been cut down this year to allow for the bleachers behind it. That hurt. Mike Fiore shaking up on the play. You want to make sure nothing's broken here.
Well, I don't think anything's broken. I think he's trying to get the numbness out right now. Here's a pitch. The pitch was down and away, and Carey goes the other way with it. There you can see it's down and away, and he drives it the other way. That's why I thought he had a pretty good swing at it. His shoulder was in. He did not pull off the pitch. It looked like he just had a good swing.
Fiore trying to work it out, make sure he stays in. 2 men out in the bottom half of the 8th inning. We'll step out for a moment in a 1-1 game. Coach Ron Fraser wants to make sure his star, Mike Fiore, is okay. The trainer checks him out. Fiore says, "I'll play." Here it is again as he drifts back to the fence, reaches up, and hauls it in. Slams that arm against the top of the fence.
If this was football and basketball, you could go out and get yourself together and come back in. Baseball is not played that way. Once you leave the ball game, that's it.
Big hand for Fiore as he stays in. Big out in the ball game. Will Vespi staying loose. You know he'll have a thank you for Mike Fiore after this inning is over. 2 men out. Ed Sprague, and Doug Robbins, the catcher, steps in. Bottom half of the 8th inning, tied 1-1. We've seen some excellent defensive plays in the outfield tonight.
It's been a very well played ball game.
Robbins, 1 hit in 3 tries, breaking ball, check swing, hit down the right field line, slicing over Noriega, tripped, but he didn't get it. It fell out of his glove. He tripped over the mound in the bullpen, and the ball fell out of his glove.
That's a tough play. When you have to run up a heel a little bit, you lose your equilibrium, and you can't keep your eye on the ball. So he looks over to see where he's going. But right there, actually, I think he tripped right at the base of the mound, right at the incline. Watch right there, as it starts up.
Tough chance. Robbins stays alive. Count is 1 strike. Fastball up and in on Robbins. Senior catcher. He's hit better this year than he did last year. He's continued his fine defensive play. Will Vespi, solid performance tonight. Breaking pitch, missed, delayed steal, and Sprague is safe. No, he went off the base and he's out. Sprague was in there, then overslid the bag, and he's called out. And Sprague surprised Miami with a delay on the steal. He had it, and then overslid the bag.
We'll get another look at it here. There you see the catcher is caught by surprise, but he makes the throw to second base, and we'll get a look at it. The second baseman comes in, and you see his foot slides off the bag. His hand overslid, and then his foot.
Sprague went sliding on by to win the 8th.
Oh.
1-1 the score as we go to the 9th inning. John Vieira, a leadoff homer in the 6th. The run for Miami. Paul Carey's leadoff homer in the bottom of the 6th tied it. Carey almost had a 2-run homer to give Stanford the lead, but Mike Fiore took it away from him. Top of the 9th, Ray Noriega steps in. He struck out his last 2 times up. Facing Steve Chitrin. Might see him try and lay down a bunt here. Carey's in at third, Sprague is in at third. He swings away and lines it foul. A good rip at that pitch. Steve Chitrin came on in the 7th inning with 2 men out. Chitrin replaced the starter, Stan Spencer. Good breaking ball. Had Noriega out in front. Each team with only 5 hits in the ball game. Miami had the bases loaded last inning. Excuse me, had runners at first and second last inning with 1 man out. And Chitrin struck out Dominguez and got Vespi to ground out. Miami left the bases loaded in the 7th inning. Breaking pitch misses. Count is full. Too much finesse here by Chitrin?
Well, I think he's finessing a little too much because you're in the 9th inning. You cannot afford to especially walk the leadoff hitter. 2-2 is as far as you ever want to go when you get toward extra innings.
He went breaking ball and he lost it. 4th walk issued by Steve Chitrin.
And I'm still trying to wonder why, because he does have a good fastball, and he had to be reminded of that by Tom Dunton last inning. There's a 3-2 curveball to the leadoff hitter in a tie ball game in the top of the 9th inning.
Mark Marquis looks around, looks over at the Miami dugout, wondering what Ron Fraser might put on. Here's Henry Hernandez, his first trip to the plate in the ball game. He bunts, foul.
That's why you do not want to walk the leadoff hitter, because automatically it gives the other team a chance to bunt the go-ahead run into scoring position.
Hernandez came to the plate twice in yesterday's game against Fresno State. A line drive single to left and then lined out to left. He hit the ball well. Noriega with good speed, a short lead at first. It's interesting, the quick move of Chitrin is keeping Noriega close to first.
Well, the one thing you do not want to do is get picked off. So what you do is you fight for your lead after he delivers the ball to the plate.
1-1 to Hernandez. He's swinging and he fouls it out of play. Took the bunt off. Hernandez swung away.
See, as a guy that watches the game, I wonder why now he'll throw this guy fastball. And he wouldn't throw the leadoff hitter fastball. The leadoff hitter is more important in this game.
The way he's throwing, he should throw almost exclusively fastballs. He goes with a breaking ball and strikes out Hernandez.
It's okay to throw the breaking ball if you're ahead in the count.
Hernandez down swinging.
Here's a 1-2 curveball. It's a good curveball. But you get help from the hitter if you're ahead in the count. If you throw it for a strike, fine. But if you throw it and it starts in the strike zone, the hitter will chase it. But if you're not ahead in the count, they're not going to chase it.
Tosar faced Chitrin in the 7th inning. He was the first batter Chitrin faced when he came on in relief, and he walked. Breaking pitch outside. Chitrin has faced 9 batters. He's walked 4, he struck out 4, and 1 he got on the ground into second. See if Miami puts something on. Good speed at first to Noriega. He's got a little bit of a bigger lead. He holds. Fastball misses. Miami dugout here in the top of the 9th.
Here's a good fastball, but he throws it up and in. Tosar backs away.
In and out. Nervous moments on the Stanford bench. It's Brian Kaiser standing up there. Right-handed pitcher. Pitched last night in relief. He walked him. 5 walks given up by Chitrin. Runners at first and second with 1 man out.
He struck Vieira out last time. Now he's got to face him again. Vieira had hit the ball hard in his 2 previous at-bats.
And it's Brian Kaiser running down to the bullpen to warm up. And a visit to the mound by the pitching coach, Tom Dunton. While Brian Kaiser gets loose, Mark Marquis is concerned. They have a situation they can't hit him, but he might walk in the go-ahead run.
They have definitely not been able to hit him, but he has walked 5 guys.
Ron Fraser talking with Brad Kelly, making sure they have their signs straight on what they want to do. Speed on the bases for Miami. Ryan Kaiser warming in the Stanford bullpen. 1 out in the top of the 9th. Game tied 1-1. Fraser goes back. Runners Noriega at second. Tosar at first. And John Vieira 2 for 3 in the ball game. Singled in the 3rd, homer leading off the 6th over the right field fence. That was against Stan Spencer. Struck out looking against Chitrin in the 7th.
Now the Stanford Cardinals outfielders are coming in closer than they were before. I guess they're trying to give themselves a shot at throwing the guy out on the plate. But it can be a disastrous thing if a fly ball goes out there that they could catch if they were a little deeper and it falls over their head.
Fastball foul back just over our heads.
Thank goodness.
I was jumping out of my chair.
That's why I say thank goodness.
Chitrin has thrown 51 pitches, Joe, in an inning and 2/3.
And Spencer threw about 80 something.
85.
Yeah.
6 2/3. Ahead on Vieira. Breaking ball hit in the air, deep center field, but plenty of room for Eric DeGraw. Noriega tags at second, tries to advance, and will make it. Runners at first and third with 2 men out.
People may ask, why would you tag up on that fly ball with 2 outs, with 1 out, and making it 2 outs? Well, you know, you can score from third a lot of ways that you can't score from second on with 2 outs. In fact, there are 9 different ways you can score from third with 2 outs that you couldn't score from second. So
Miami knows that well. They scored on that wild pitch yesterday against Fresno State.
So you try to advance as close to home plate as you possibly can.
2 men out. George Robles. 0 for 4. He struck out twice. He's hit into a double play, and he's grounded out. Came into the ball game hitting .364, having reached base 67 of his last 68 games. There's that third to first pickoff fake. Tosar has pretty good speed at first. Whitmire is playing just behind him.
I don't think he'll send him until the hitter gets 2 strikes on him. Then he may send him again and hope that Stanford tries to throw him out.
Brad Kelly flashing the signs to George Robles. And Sprague, the third baseman. He's in on the grass, protecting against the bunt. Ground ball to the shortstop Paulson. On to carry. They get out of it. Chitrin walks 2, but works out of the jam. And we go to the bottom half of the 9th inning in an elimination game with Miami and Stanford tied 1-1. As we go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Will Vespi has come all the way from Miami. Mike Fiore's left arm has been taped up after banging it at the top of the fence, robbing Paul Carey of what might have been a 2-run homer. At the least, it would have been off the top of the fence.
Well, I believe it would have gone out. Also, the question is, can he swing the bat with his arm hurting like that? Because your front arm is very important in the swing.
He'd like to find out. Which would mean he'd get up in the top of the 10th. Here's Doug Robbins. He was at the plate when Sprague was out on the attempted steal. Breaking pitch high from Will Vespi. Fastball hit hard off the leg of Tosar. He's hurt. Single for Doug Robbins. Tosar writhing in the dirt at third base.
And what's strange about that is Doug Robbins faked a bunt the first pitch to try to bring him in, and he didn't come in, luckily.
That pitch was ripped. So Fiore shaken up. Last inning, Tosar hit with that hard line shot.
We'll get another look at it here. The ball's hit so hard, he doesn't have time to do anything. He tries to catch it. He actually does. The ball shoots up and hits him just above the right knee on the inside. That was a bullet. Look at the extension Doug Robbins gets right there. And as you can see, Doug's not a little fellow. No. And that was a shot. Hit right in front of him and bounced up and hit him on the inside of the right knee, just above the knee.
So some concern here for Miami. Tosar replacing the injured Rob Word in the lineup tonight. checked out. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Stanford with the potential winning run at first base.
There you see Stanford coach Mark Marquis, some players discussing what to do.
He's got Robbins around him, telling him what he wants him to do on the bases. 38 is Sanger.
Whitmire.
Whitmire is the man due up, and behind him is number 5, Brian Johnson. We'll step out for a moment.
When his team, the El Segundo Eagles, lost the 1970 state final, George Brett didn't lose his desire. He didn't give up, because George Brett has always had a will to win. And he's always had a Wilson.
Before you take a single picture, before you press the shutter, before you autofocus, before you operate the fully motorized extended range zoom lens, before you place it next to your eye, before you even touch it, you're going to want to own it. The incredible 35mm Infinity Super Zoom 300, new from Olympus.
Round of lights here.
If you want the one light that outshines them all, ask for Bud Light.
Let me know when you're ready for another round.
We're in the bottom half of the 9th inning of this elimination game, with Miami and Stanford tied 1-1. The only run scored in the 6th inning, solo home runs. And right now you take another look at that shot to Mike Kosar.
He tries to get his body in front of it. He does a very courageous thing there, because the ball was hit like a shot. And the ball bounces up and hits him on the inside of the right leg. He's trying to walk it off. I don't know if he's going to stay in there or not.
Now, Ron Fraser has just signaled to the bench Kosar can't continue. In the meantime, Ron Fraser has made another change. He has gone to the bullpen. And he has brought in left-hander Pete Joseph. And I think he has brought him in to get one man. That is Whitmire at the plate. Well, the specialist on left-handers.
Well,
born in Miami and coming back to Miami to play baseball and go to school. I should say to go to school and play baseball.
good point.
Runner at first is Doug Robbins, the catcher. How much speed he has, he's just practicing his lead there.
He actually runs better than average for a catcher. He runs pretty well.
You always wonder in the 9th inning, is he tired? Are the legs a little tired? Pete Joseph, outstanding golfer, a walk-on at Miami, making the pitching staff, and has been very effective this season. Right here, a pressure situation in the College World Series. Nobody out, a runner at first in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Whitmire singled his last time up. He's also walked. Bottom half of the 9th inning with nobody out.
You have to take our hats off to Will Vespi. He did a great job.
8 innings, allowed 6 hits, only 1 run. A home run by Paul Carey. Taken for a strike. Excuse me, that was taken down low for a ball.
But he is going to bunt, I believe. Squared around the first pitch.
Chris Anderson is in at third. Hernandez ready to charge from first. Takes that one low, ball 2. And takes a strike.
I think he was told to take that pitch because when a reliever comes in and throws 2 balls, you do not want to help him out of a jam by bunting the next pitch.
I wouldn't be surprised if he let Whitmire swing away. I think Whitmire can hit Joseph. take him the other way. No, he squared. He lays it down nicely. Good bunt. Joseph throws to Trujillo covering. 1 out. Winning run is moved up to second base.
I really feel that maybe in another situation Marquis might have let Whitmire swing away. But this is, as they say, the 7th game of the World Series as far as everyone's concerned. You lose, you go home. And Whitmire does an excellent job. He squares around, gets the barrel of the bat out front, and makes a good bunt. Now he's moved the winning run into scoring position. I think you have to do that to put pressure on the other team. I think if you have an opportunity to put the winning run at second base with 1 out, I think you have to take it.
Now let's see what Ron Fraser does. Will he walk Brian Johnson here?
Well, I would.
Left-hander on deck.
I would walk him.
That's what's going to happen. Johnson steps in, and they will purposely walk him.
See, now they're making the play properly. They have Robles holding the runner at second base rather than Trujillo, because if he reaches out and hits the ball, he can only hit it to the right side. And it's the same as a pitch out. So you have to have those guys cover in that direction.
The moves are being made here. Strategy sessions. Sanger, a left-handed batter, was due up. And Mark Marquis may bring in a pinch hitter, forcing Ron Fraser to make a move. Intentional walk to Brian Johnson. Runners at first and second with 1 man out here in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
There you see Mike Fiore, his arm, he's shaking it, trying to keep it loose in case he does get another opportunity to bat. See, when you walk a guy in this situation, it accomplishes 2 things. Not does it just get you to the left-handed hitter, but it also sets up a double play situation where you can get out of the inning by giving him 1 shot at driving in the winning run. If you do not walk the guy, and even if you get Brian Johnson out, you still have to get another runner out. So you're giving him a batter out. You're giving him 2 shots to get the runner in that case.
Sanger stays in there, lefty against lefty, on the ground to Trujillo, to Robles. He threw it away. Robbins heads for the plate. Robbins will score, and Stanford wins. The first error of the College World Series for Miami cost them.
Well, I really hate to see the ball game end like that because it was such a well-played ball game. And actually, I was getting ready to compliment Trujillo because he charged the ball to get the ball to the shortstop so he'd have plenty of time to make the throw to first base to get the double play. He just made a bad toss, but he did everything properly. He really charged the ball. He made a good play. He just threw it away.
Mark Marquis and Ron Fraser exchange pleasantries, compliments, and best wishes. It's all over. Trujillo didn't turn.
Watch him charge the ball. Now, this is what you're supposed to do. Now he tries the backhand toss, but he throws it on the inside. It's a great attempt to knock it down by Robles. It shows that he was under control when he came across the bag, but it's just too tough a throw for him.
But doesn't Trujillo have enough time to turn and make this throw?
Well, I would say he could turn and make the throw, yes, if you want to play it safe. But being honest with you, if I was in that situation, I would have thrown it backhand as well. But, you know, it's just a matter of how comfortable you feel.
Robbins stopped, looked, and came on in, and Stanford defeats Miami 2-1 to stay alive. They'll have a repeat matchup with Cal State Fullerton. They'll go against the undefeated Titans of Cal State Fullerton, the team they lost to last night. They'll match up with them on Thursday night. So Miami goes home. The Hurricanes, after a tremendous season, came to the College World Series with high hopes, seeded number 3 in the tournament, but they are beaten 2-1. An outstanding pitching performance by Will Vespi. He takes the loss. Robbins, the man who got aboard on the hard hit single, is the man who brings in the winning run. The play of the game, it came in the 8th inning when Paul Carey, with a runner on, lifted a long drive to deep left field, and Mike Fiore went to the fence and took away a home run from Carey. It kept the game tied at that point. Miami's hero for 4 years. He's finished up his College World Series career, his college career. A fine All-American, Mike Fiore. Stanford wins it. That's the Firestone.